We drop back into the 70s, 53 for the low. Saturday, sunny and 81. Sunday, sunny, 85. Cooler, 59 for the high on Monday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This hour of the Mark Reardon Show is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Call Gamma Tree Experts. This is the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
And here we go. It's another Fish Fry Friday broadcast, Sue. We only have two left, this one and next week. It's kind of sad that way, isn't it?
That's very upsetting.
But we are at Queen of All Saints off of Christopher in South County in Oakville. It's a beautiful cafeteria room. It's a little quiet right now. We got a couple of people here for the roundtable. Things really do pick up at the end of the hour. This room, Sue, as I remember, it gets very loud in the 4 and the 5 o'clock hour.
It does.
We have a roundtable that's about to kick off, but I do want to talk about some other stuff that's happening because Sue will do a live Sue's News out here. We have Paul Hall on some entertainment recommendations. Frank Cusumano is in Buffalo reporting on the Billikens, and we're going to get to that here in a couple of minutes. And our good friend Kenny Wallace is coming by tonight, which is going to be great. Nice. With some family members, I think Kim, and then also at 5:30, we will have Susan L. Ward, a great sponsor of the station. So a lot of stuff going on. Let me introduce the roundtable panel this afternoon. Former State Senator John Lamping is here. Again, he seems to be our official fish fry roundtable participant, which, by the way, we love. I love that because I think this is your third. Steve Butts, you're right behind him. I think this is your second state rep.
Yeah, right.
Steve
I'm trying to bring
the
this.
best shows.
There we
the best
go.
shows.
But ladies and gentlemen, we have a newbie on the roundtable panel this afternoon that we have to break in, and I'm a little shocked by it, but we're going to welcome him in. This means you got to talk politics too. Ethan Hannaford, who is one of our great producers. But we're starting with college basketball because first and foremost, and we'll get to the Billikens, what happened at Enterprise Center a couple hours ago was incredible. Steve, you were there, right?
I was there. I just came straight here from the game at Enterprise, and Santa Clara gave Kentucky everything they could take, and they went up with a great three with just 2-point-something seconds on the clock.
It looks like they have it won.
They have it won, and Kentucky comes down and pops it from just inside the half court. Boom.
Ties the game,
Go to
overtime.
overtime, and then Kentucky wins.
Yeah, a
Wow.
couple of mistakes by Santa Clara in overtime. I'd feel so bad for those kids. That's a long, long trip home after a game like that. They put everything. They had some shooters, man. I was impressed with that team.
They did. They traveled really well, too. You expect Kentucky to travel really well, and they were well represented. But Santa Clara had a lot of fans in the stands at Enterprise, and Enterprise is bumping, and downtown is bumping.
Yeah, back and forth throughout. Final score was 89-84. But, I mean, this was even down to the final minute of overtime. This was anyone's ball game throughout, back and forth. This was a really fun first game for what is expected to be a pretty good slate here in St. Louis right now. Iowa State and Tennessee State playing. Of course, we have Mizzou playing Miami there tonight at 9:10. So it's going to be a fun stretch in St. Louis, but the tournament is off to a phenomenal start.
I hesitate to ask this because I'm not feeling great about my Tigers because I'm always negative. But if we win, then we play Iowa State. Likely, is that the way the bracket goes down?
No, they would play Purdue.
Oh, we play Purdue. That's
Purdue
right. I think I was confused about
Purdue
that.
plays, I think, at like 6 o'clock.
That's right. Okay.
They play Queens University.
So it's Iowa State would play
they're playing
the
Kentucky
previous game,
if
the
they
winner of
win.
Kentucky.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I was a little turned around on that, but I'm glad that you straightened that out. And somebody said, one of the advantages, because we can get into the gift that Mizzou was given to basically play here at home. I think my boss said this, Steve Moore. He says, well, that just makes it easier to go home because they don't have like a 6-hour flight like Santa Clara. It'll be easier on the way home. I wish I could be more positive about Mizzou. But, Steve and John and Ethan, let's talk about the Billikens. Oh, my goodness. What got into them last night? They looked like they could beat anyone.
I know. So if you watch this team, and I've been watching this team for 35 years since Rich Grauer first came back in 82.
Yeah.
But this is a special team. And Coach Josh Schertz has put together 9 selfless players. And you saw it last night. That was the most passing, ball work. It was just beautiful. Now, you don't always shoot 66%. I mean, whatever we did, that part was crazy. But to drop 100+ on a good team in the tournament says a lot. Selflessly, we missed a bunch of threes in the first half, but they took care of the ball. They played great defense. They play selfless. Robbie Avila is the heart and soul of that team. And
That
I
kid's
just
so
can't
cool,
say
too.
enough good things about it.
You know, they've been doing some fun features on him because he's a character. He's got a great personality. He's got some fun nicknames and stuff like that. But he's fun. I hope they can, do it. Look, the 8-9 disadvantage is you got to play the 1. But you know what? They can play the 1. And Mizzou almost beat a 1 many years ago. There was 4.6 seconds left in Tyus Ed, and he ran the court, the entire length of the floor. By the way, 4.6 seconds back then was no time at all. 4.6 these days seems like you have 2 or 3 possessions, if you will. So, Ethan, on that game last night, that had to be something that even you were blown away by. Just the pace, the shooting, the lack of mistakes, the lack of turnovers, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this was, and we talked early about a little bit of a bumpy start, but even in that, it felt like SLU controlled the entirety of this game. I believe that they had a 17-point lead at the half, and you blink, and all of a sudden they're up by 30, 35, and it's like, where did this come from? So 66 points last night in the paint. That is the most points scored in the paint, I believe, in the last 7 NCAA tournaments. This was the 8-9 games are supposed to be the closest games of the tournament. I tell you what, obviously you have a very tough task against the 1 seed in Michigan coming up. But if I'm the Wolverines,
I don't think SLU should be intimidated
at all. The toughest
at
8-9 of the bunch.
Play
what they did last
your
night
game and go after
was unbelievable.
them. Absolutely.
They out-rebounded a team that nobody expected them to. They broke this team down methodically. Like you said, Steve, it wasn't like they outshot them completely. I mean, they did, but it wasn't like they relied on 70% shooting. I mean, this was methodical. It was fast to start off the second half, and it felt like everyone was kind of in shock as to how they were able to do it.
Including Georgia's coach.
They were.
I just kept thinking Georgia's coach a couple times did not call timeout on obvious runs the way we opened up the second half and made no adjustments to all the backdoor cuts we were doing. So,
the first 10 minutes of that game were ugly, right? It was slow.
ugly.
And you knew what they were talking about, and we talked about this yesterday with Bob Ramsey, is that both those teams, score a lot of points, like upper 80s, 90s. So, you knew it was going to be, in theory, a high-scoring game. Well, it didn't look like, in the first 10 minutes, it looked like they were going to score 60 points. But obviously, the pace changed, and that was incredible. By the way, I felt really stupid because sometimes my instincts are correct. Very rarely. When we had Bob Ramsey on yesterday, I almost said, because I didn't know the answer to this question, I said, is Kellen Thames by any chance the son of Kelly Thames? And he is. And for people who don't know that, Kelly Thames, this was my era of Mizzou basketball. I covered the team from 86 until 96. And in the early 90s, Kelly Thames was Big 8 Player of the Year in 1993. He was a great, great player for Mizzou. And just incredible. I think he was injured the year that we ran the tables in the Big 8. But that's awesome. I didn't know that they were related, so that's very cool.
What's great, too, is that I think earlier in the week they extended the coach, right? Gave him a six-year deal. And, for him to have such a great showing in the tournament, and we were saying before, his job next year is to go find a 6'10" big man that can shoot the 3, and it's going to be a lot easier given the fact that the team's showed out so well so far.
But Avila, too, the story on him that he could have tripled his income, right? And he stayed loyal to the coach and to the program. Who else would do that? I mean, there are very
many
few
kids
people
give up that
would
kind of
do
money.
that. That's right. All right, now let's kind of broaden this out to the city of St. Louis here, because we are hosting, as you indicated, these first-round games today and on Sunday. Steve Butts is on the panel, former State Senator John Lamping as well. We're coming off a last weekend, that was ugly in a lot of different parts of the city, with these kids that were out of control and cops that were overpowered by these young thugs. 7 people were shot. Some of this happened not too far from where our building is that we're usually in, Park Pacific downtown, toward Keener Plaza. Steve, this again, and now there's a curfew, right? So they say there's going to be a curfew tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Why would you follow the curfew when you know that you have the advantage against the cops? The cops can't do anything.
Well, you have to do something. Many people have to do a lot of things, but for this weekend, it just cannot happen again, because the entire eyes of the nation are here looking at us, and there's, I don't know how many tens of thousands of people downtown that are not from St. Louis that are down there right now, so we can't have those takeovers. Do you hope it's a one-off? I was at a police meeting last night. It happened in Sue and I's neighborhood about a year ago that was beyond shocking.
In Holly Hills, right?
In Holly Hills.
Right by your house.
Another one of these happened right at Beeville Mill at that
right
spot.
at that intersection.
I think the facts are, so we're still short a bunch of cops. That's a big deal. The cops are still underpaid. That's a big deal. But if hundreds of youths, and saw the pictures, they weren't like 14-year-olds, they're like 20-year-olds, decide to do a bunch of showboating, slide showing, There's no police department on earth can stop that many things simultaneously that they move around. That's part of it.
They're outsmarting the cops, and they know they can
They're
do
well organized.
They are well organized, and it's become a bit of a sport. These slideshows. So maybe
they created a ring of fire in the middle of the intersection. And all these kids jumped into the middle of it like it was a big celebration and a rave.
I've seen that myself one time near my house.
Really?
It is shocking. That's about how it was at Holly Hills a year ago. All I know is the captain that I was with last night, the mayor that I was with last night at a neighborhood meeting, Kara Spencer said, it is all hands on deck. It cannot happen again, and it better not happen this weekend. That's all I got to say.
Well, I mean, this is not new. This is kind of standard. This has been going on. I mean, I've been on your show for 15 years, and it's probably once or twice a year where we talk about, this is horrible, and we got to do this, we got to do that. And that's great. I'm grateful for the fact that somebody's trying to do something, but they're always trying to do something.
Like a bunch
20
trying
times.
to do.
Well, I'm on your show once or twice a year talking about this, and it's not going to change until the leadership says, look, we're going to do what was the thing that Giuliani did? It was a broken door policy. We see anything, we're arresting people. We see a broken window, we're going to go in. There's the culture of pursuing criminals has to change.
Well, it's happening in St. Louis County. Melissa Price Smith they have a very rock solid policy. You commit a crime with a gun, and you're going to be punished for it, right? And the message is being sent, hopefully, to these kids.
The city's going to have to be, you drive by without tags, we're pulling you over, and we're arresting you.
There is going to be, I think there's going to be a new effort on that, too. Even the Highway Patrol said something about that, so that would be positive. But you're right, because these are people that don't have insurance in all likelihood.
And my wife and I drive down to church in the city every Sunday, and it's not unusual at all for coming down Highway 40 for 3 or 4 cars to go speeding by 80, 100 miles an hour. That's standard fare on Sunday morning, and until someone decides that has to stop immediately, and people have to be pulled over, they have to be arrested, taken away, lose their cars, go to jail. That's going to take that type of commitment, and fundamental shift, or things are not going to change. People are going to continue to leave the city. My understanding is the city of St. Louis has lost more population in the last 5 years as a percentage than any city in the country.
As a percentage, the denominator keeps getting littler, so that exaggerates our problem.
But that's important.
It exasperates it.
That's important.
It is important. Yeah. I could just say for this in particular, it's not junky old cars. The cars that actually do the slideshows, these are really nice.
Really?
Okay. These are not junk cars.
So what are these, gangbangers?
I don't know. I don't.
They prioritize cars in their lives.
I guess they do.
I can't really fault that because I do that too.
The police department's got lots of good video of the drivers and the cars, and they're going to go out and they're going to impound these cars. These cars are not junkers. That's one way to hit them hard in the wallet.
Here's something they might consider doing is, and you can give the police Eric Schmidt's number, and he can go over to Trump when he's not fighting this stupid war, and get them to bring in the National Guard and take care of it.
Somebody asked me via email, and this is something that gets discussed every once in a while. Why not use the Highway Patrol more? And I think some of that is going to happen with some of the enforcement of the license plates.
I've been requesting that on the Highway Patrol. Let's just say on Highway 70 from downtown going out to the airport, I'm like, that's the craziest stretch of interstate in the nation, in my opinion. And I've met with the Highway Patrol. I've talked to Governor Parson, Keogh. I'm like, we're at least entitled to 10% of the Highway Patrol, and they're short-staffed.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right. Hey, it's a live Reardon Roundtable. We're at Queen of All Saints. Sue, Ethan, Fred, Steve Butts, John Lapping, Brian's helping us out here. We have Daniel back in the studio. We're coming back with more on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got a report of debris northbound 141, a little bit past Olive. So watch out through there. They're saying it's in the center lane. Now, it's Friday, so westbound 6440 is lined up. This is approaching Hampton out through McCausland. Eastbound a little bit slow at 270. And then volume again westbound approaching Highway N out through the 70 split. Now 70 is a little bit lighter, but it is slowing right at Jennings Station Road, right at Zumbell, at K, and at Wentzville. Now, southbound 270 is actually in pretty good shape. Northbound traffic is a little slow at Ladue Road. We've got southbound 55 slowing at Bayless, and some volume on the Illinois side. First of all, if you are headed into Illinois, it's a jam back past 18th Street, and 70 is slowing at 64. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Brought to you by USPS Ground Advantage.
Business moves fast. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Hey, I don't think I'm going to see him today, but he was here a week ago. My friend Bill Kaufman from Banner Construction showed up at our fish fry. It was great to see him. I had not hooked up with him for a while. Look, he's got a great company. He and Sam P have had Banner since 1993. They specialize in some of the best products out there, like James Hardy fiber cement siding and also Pella replacement windows. So it's super easy if you're a homeowner and you've been thinking about this. They're big projects. You need to trust a company that is trusted by those companies, because you have Pella that just celebrated 100 years in business, the greatest windows and doors out there, and then fiber cement siding has become increasingly popular. James Hardy, the best in the business. Outstanding performance, a lot of benefits, low maintenance, durability, sustainable materials, and your home is going to look great. Get with Banner today, 314-569-1050. The website, bannerconstruction.com.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
The Mark Reardon Show, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis conservative.
All right, here we go. We're live at Queen of All Saints. It is a Fish Fry Friday, and the crowd is a little sparse in here right now. However, it builds very quickly after 4 o'clock, so we look forward to seeing people. Our last Fish Fry Friday is next Friday at Ott's Tavern in Fish Stand in Millstadt, Illinois. All of this, by the way, is sponsored by Apache Village RV Center. They're in Hazelwood and in O'Fallon. Don't forget, we have Sue preparing Sue's News for a Friday afternoon. Ethan's out here, and we'll have a little fun with Paul Hall and Cusumano, who's in Buffalo also tonight, and a lot of stuff in the 5 o'clock hour with Kenny Wallace, the NASCAR legend. Steve Butts, state representative who's running for the state senate, is with us on the panel. Former state senator John Lamping. You referred to this war a couple of moments ago, John, as a stupid war. Expand on that just a little bit. And I'm going to be honest with you. I am extremely concerned about the way that this is continuing right now. And I'll give you an example of how it's going to affect the American electorate. I have a young girl that's with me helping out watch my daughter. They came out today just to hang out, and she's a 16-year-old driver, and she's looking at the gas prices saying, what the hell? They were $1 cheaper a month ago. So clearly President Trump wanted to do this. You can make the case that maybe the timing was right. We want to take out this nuclear power or potential nuclear power. But look, this thing better not drag on.
Well, it's already dragged on.
Well, I agree.
Yeah. And, I'm disappointed by the fact that, been a big Trump supporter since the very beginning. He was swept up in the populist movement. I came into office in 2010 in the Tea Party movement, again, a populist movement, a focus on doing things right here in this country. In Trump's case, it's, closing the border and making life better for Americans, working class people. In his 3 campaigns, he'd often would campaign and say, we would avoid these stupid foreign wars. And I think what happened is in previous shows before the war, and I came to talk to you, we talked about how his focus was, in my mind, was already way too much on foreign affairs. He's had some good success in his mind back in last year when they bombed Iran and they took out the 12-day war, and that worked out fine for him. But this was a cluster, and this is where 3 weeks ago I was in St. Charles with you, and the next day they went to war. A week later I was in Assumption Parish with you, and it was like, okay, this better end now. Well, it's 2 weeks later, and there's talks of ground troops, and it's not ending, and there's talks about Israel's doing their own thing, and we can't stop them.
So this is my question. What are they doing? And by the way, seems like we're the outliers because there's a lot of people that are drinking the Kool-Aid here and cheerleading this. And there's a variety of reasons to not cheerlead it. Again, I'm fine with those initial strikes, although I think it's a valid question to say if last summer we decimated the nuclear capability, why do we have to decimate it again 6 months later? I would ask that of a Democrat president. If a Democrat president did that, I think it's fair for me to ask it now. But I feel like I'm tiptoeing around MAGA and everyone else who's supporting this, which I'm shocked by.
No. The coalition is fractured and leaving him. So when Lindsey Graham thinks something's really good and he's the poster child for what you're doing,
that's when you know you go in the other direction.
You're in deep trouble.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
And so
Steve, I know you want to say something here.
I'm impressed with.
Hang on. Go ahead.
I'm impressed with both you guys that you would admit that. I appreciate that because, I'm hopeful not everybody's just drinking the Trump Kool-Aid, which to me, I've listed 15 things on this show over the years about what Trump says. One thing everybody says, well, that's not really what he means. If it wasn't clear that he did not want to involve us in foreign wars going up as a huge part of his platform, I don't know what else is, except for the wall that, Mexico is going to pay for. I can't believe that it has the support that this war does have. When old guys...
I'm surprised by it too, but I don't think it's going to last.
18 and 20,
right,
not brave enough to fight. When they're 80, they all get brave to fight.
It doesn't have the support. So what you're seeing on the mainstream media, which is part of the establishment Republican Party, the Bush Party, the Lindsey Graham Party, they're all for it. They've been for this. A Governor Romney as president would have taken us to war. Bush would have taken us to war. McCain would have taken us to war. Trump was the only one who said, no. We're going to focus on what's wrong here. We're going to close the border. We're going to make everything fair. The courts are going to be fair. Trade's going to be fair. His agenda was so phenomenal, and the populism movement got behind it. Lindsey Graham and Mark Levin and all these Fox guys were all anti-Trump people until now. Now he's doing what any other President Bush could have done. The things he was focusing on are things those guys would never do. I'll tell you, the coalition that came together to elect him 3 times for president, they've already...
2 times.
They've already... Okay, fine. 3 times with the majority of votes in all the swing districts. That coalition is now faded. Now it doesn't matter. Trump's not running again.
But how do you make up it? Harry Ann's on CNN a couple of nights ago. MAGA is they're 100% with Trump and all that. I'm with you on this. I really am.
That's what Fox. What's on television is BS. Okay, so what the television missed Trump the first time because they're on television. They're all in their echo chamber. They're all taking each other's talking points. I'm just telling you, the people that got together and supported him. Look, this guy Joe Kent is a guy I've been listening to for 5 years. I believe in Joe Kent. Sadly, you're going to see.
Explain who Joe Kent. Why he became a part of this story this week. Okay, because
Joe Kent. Well, it's his whole story. He's a Green Beret. He's served 11 tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. His wife was also in the military. She died in the war in Iraq. He ran for Congress for 3 different times in the state of Washington. He lost. It's a very liberal state. The Trump administration thought so highly of him, they brought him into the cabinet to be the head of counterterrorism group. He resigned this week saying, I can't do this, that there was no
imminent threat.
Yeah, no imminent threat. And then immediately the Fox establishment and all the mainstream media people are vilifying him.
Beat the crap out of him.
FBI is going after him. And look, I don't have enough information to know if what he's saying is truthful or not, but I'm telling you, the coalition of people, he's part of that coalition that people listen to and pull themselves together. I think you're going to lose Tulsi soon. Tulsi was
what does J.D. Vance do? I mean, honest to God, what does he do?
J.D. Vance, let's watch what he's doing. He's saying, look, when the leader makes a decision, you support the leader. He's not saying he's for the war.
No, that's true.
And remember what Rubio said the first week? Rubio's come out and he says, Israel was going to go to war, and if they went to war, then we were going to take a hit, so we went to war. And Trump goes out the next week and he goes, well, Israel is going to go, and so we're going to go, and then he says Israel's bombing things that we're telling them not to bomb, but they're doing it anyhow. It's like
he was mad about that.
Who's leading who?
Yeah, I don't know. But who's guiding this right now in this policy? Because it's really confusing to me. I don't
he's
get
the chaos president.
But
nobody is doing it.
You can say that, but look, let me offer a little defense here because
right.
one thing that we do is we get way ahead of these things. And I remember a year ago, you guys were all panicked, and I was a little worried about the stock market and the tariffs and all that, and stuff worked out right now. So there are timetables that need to be kind of worked out here. And look, if we get a turnaround in gas prices, maybe the narrative is different. But I don't get it. I really don't understand what's pushing this right now to go, because if you just did a bombing campaign and did, and this is over, let's move forward now.
Knocked out a bunch
I don't
of stuff.
think that everyone's upset about that. Okay, we take them out. I didn't see an imminent threat. I'm just going to be honest with you, but they've been a threat for 47 years. Ask Rocky Sickman. But
sure.
I do not support extending this the way that they're doing. I just don't.
And ground troops for sure. And you just can't put these things together. Because it's downright regime change. All I know is if gas gets up to $4 a gallon and we're anywhere near
we're very
the
close to
midterms,
that right now.
Okay, it's going to be a great election for Democrats. $4 a gallon.
It might
Missouri,
be the best election you ever have.
If $4 a gallon to me is the magic psychological number, it hurts when it's at $3.20, $3.30. When it hits $4, right now people are really noticing. They're focused on it.
Look, I
if
know.
oil and gas prices fall back down, there's plenty of time before August. But I'm telling you, this is an issue that hits people directly every week. All kinds of people.
But the disappointment is bigger than that. In that what Trump was trying to enact were policies that he was enacting. They were bold. They needed to be in place, though, for the next 6, 8, 12 years. By doing what he just did, the next presidential election, the Republican Party primary, will be about the war, be about who's for it and who's against it, instead of, hey, Trump's policies were great, and I'm going to continue Trump's policies. Look, George Bush left office. His approval rating was in the low 30s. Obama came to power, and it had devastated it. And so it's for me personally, it's a very disappointing period of time.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I really
the Tea Party movement was able to stay alive for about 2 election cycles before the establishment took it over completely. And the Republican establishment, never liked Trump, never wanted to be part of it. And yes, these plans that they're executing, there was somebody on Crosshour's show yesterday morning talking at length. He was part of an organization that Jeb Bush was part of. So, we've had these plans forever. We've taken out 600 targets. We're going to do this in series of stages. The neocons are real, and they have their plans waiting. And they lobbied internally for this forever, and they finally got Trump to blink.
It's exactly the opposite of what he campaigned on, and that is baffling to me. We're coming back.
We can agree on that.
Queen of All Saints live Fish Fry Fridays. We're coming back with more in a moment.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
If you are headed into Illinois and you take the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge, we've got a jam at 64. Now, this is all due to road work. Also a jam eastbound 64 headed for the Poplar Street Bridge. So a jam there as well. Try the King Bridge. It looks fine at this hour. 70 westbound, just some moderate volume at Jennings Station Road. Eastbound is slowing at 141. And then westbound, moderate volume at K. And again, right at Highway A out through Wentzville. 64 out west is mainly slow on either side of Lake St. Louis Boulevard. And if you are westbound on 40 in the city, sorry about that noise, but I had to pick that up. It's a little bit slow. It's the usual. And that means it starts at Kings Highway out through McCausland. Northbound 270 slowing at Ladue Road. And northbound 55, that is slow, headed for the bridge as well. This report is brought to you by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. And St. Louis Midwest winters are what really take a toll on your garage door. Overhead Door Company can come out and perform their 26-point tune-up on your garage door and opener. Just one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlewis.com. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. For free information and to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, simply go online and visit DRA.com or call 800-535-1582. 1582. 800-535-1582. Again, that's 800-535-1582.
It's time for you to get to know my friends at Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield, where luxury meets comfort. Mark Cox here. They have a great selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, craft cocktails, anything you like to drink, cold beer, premium hand-rolled cigars from the finest makers in the world, even private lockers that are available if you choose to. Perfect for date nights or business meetings, and live music every Friday night. Family owned and operated. Check them out in Chesterfield at the District. It's litstl.com.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The time is 3:33. This time check is brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
From the gateway city to the front lines of freedom. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Oh, I'm starting to smell a little fish frying here in the room at Queen of All Saints. We have the crowd building as well. Come out and see us. We're live. Our second to last fish fry broadcast, sponsored by Apache Village RV Center. They're in Hazelwood and in O'Fallon. All right, let's go to the John Lapping and Steve Butts on the panel. John, I'll start with you on the Save America Act, because this isn't going to pass. This is going to be a failure as well. They cannot get the numbers. Thune's not going to give in on the filibuster. So how do they save face on this?
They don't. They look like a failure.
All right, well, at least you're giving me the honest answer, because I don't know how they do either.
So it's a complete disaster on our side. What could happen, though, if I'm a Democrat and I'm a Democratic strategist, and I believe that we can win elections with voters having IDs, which I don't think they really think they can win elections unless illegals get to vote. But the one issue that we will have, the Republican Party will have, if this doesn't pass, it'll be that we're for it, okay, in the next election cycle. Mm-hmm. Now, one can make the claim, well, you had Republicans, but, well, truth be told, unless they get rid of the filibuster or do a talking filibuster, they don't really have the numbers.
Right.
But and I think Schumer came onto the floor yesterday and said something to the effect that we're all for voter IDs, and it was a shock. It was a complete 180. He never said it before on the floor, but he did say it on the floor.
Well, he has said it on the floor. It was like 20 years ago, but yeah.
No, I know. But so it's funny, because I think the Republicans are doing tremendous damage to their capacity to win a presidential election. And this is one of the few issues that is left unresolved, is one we can campaign on. And on some level, if you're the Democrats, you say, fine, you got it, and then we'll take it away. We'll just prosecute the war the next time around. So, but look, this is, I also tell people, we have 52 people that claim to be ours in the Senate, but we don't have a majority Republican caucus. And we don't.
Which is true. Yeah. So on the SAVE Act, though, and I questioned Senator Schmidt about this yesterday or Wednesday. I can't remember when he was on. The American people hate this, and I hate this. When they are stuffing things into this bill, and you couldn't find a person more against this gender nonsense, and I've made that very clear for the last 3 or 4 years, if not more. But when you're stuffing things like that and the women's sports issue into the SAVE Act, I hate that. Well, I hate that. But they defend it. Well, this is something that's important. No, take it out of there. Do it individually. Stop the nonsense. This is stuff that people don't want anymore.
What they're doing by doing that, Mark, is they know it's not going to pass.
So they're trying to get the Democrats on the record again, right?
To vote,
it's political.
Which is total BS. The ordinary people don't care about any of that stuff. And it is a disaster.
Well, I'm going to agree with you on all that, but the one takeaway that I'll have is on the filibuster itself. When you're at the spot like right now, Trump really wants, just get rid of the filibuster. I'm like, that pendulum swings both ways. I think the filibuster.
That's been my feeling always.
It has never been my feeling. I know it's frustrating for whether you're to the left or the right. You think we have the majority of 52. That's not what the Senate is for, either in Jeff City or in Washington, D.C. It is to work things out. So why do they put all kinds of other stuff? They're trying to come to a compromise. I would like to see us go back to real filibusters where you don't suspend the day and then go out to dinner and get a good night's sleep. You keep everybody there. I don't care if they're
I mean,
locked
that's what they
in
were
their
talking
chamber.
about, but they were talking about it like in a different type of talking filibuster, right?
Right.
Kim Strassel had some reporting on this the other day in the Wall Street Journal, and I didn't really understand the minutia of it all. But yeah, exactly. Make them stand up there and state their point. Put them on the record that way. Why wouldn't you at least do that?
But here, mark the tape, March 20th, 2026. The minute the Democrats can get rid of the filibuster, they will.
I don't think so.
Oh,
no, they will.
I think they will.
All right,
mark the tape. I don't think so.
And here's evidence of this idea.
It would have happened already.
Your party's changed dramatically. When you took control of Virginia, what did it do? It became the policies have become very far left. They've raised income taxes. They went from a 6-5 map to a 10-1 map. In the state of Washington, they introduced, which is zero income tax. They again went far left, and they introduced this 10% millionaire surcharge tax.
Yeah.
And then what's going on in the city of New York? You've got a socialist that has proposed an estate tax on the first $700,000 of an estate is non-tax, and everything above is tax.
That is unbelievable.
My point is that
pushing that.
your parties, when in power around the country, are pursuing far left policies. That's why when they get in power again, they will waive the filibuster, they will pack the court, they will expand the number of states we have, which creates more senators.
Mark the tape. We're not going to do any of those three things. I'm not saying some point in history we might not have a 51st or 52nd state. It might be Puerto Rico.
It'll be the first year that you've got the ability to make it happen.
No, that is simply not true.
I'm with John on this one. I can't.
You guys,
your base is going to
as right
hold
as
you
you
guys
were
to that.
on the war. You're both crazy on this.
Look, the last president opened the borders up, let 10 million people come in so they could vote in elections.
Yeah, that is not what happened. They're not voting in our elections. They're not.
Okay,
they're not.
Let's make sure they're not by passing that piece of legislation, right? You guys want to give them driver's licenses and everything.
Down to the if you go down to see how our local elections are handled, and you watch who's voting, you look at all the checks and balances we have in this system with a Republican and a Democrat judge sitting right there. There's not 10 million illegals voting in our elections.
It's publicly acknowledged more. There's publicly acknowledged in the city of New York that illegals voted and that the mayor only won the race because illegals voted for him. And it's public information. It's in the newspaper. Everyone agrees. Oh, yeah, the illegals are voting in the city of New York. You think that's the only place that illegals are voting in this country?
Maybe it's not happening here, Steve, but it's happening.
All around the country.
I'm talking about here. Do I know in New York City? You know why he won? Is because the other candidates were so stinking bad.
No, they counted the votes, and they said the illegal alien vote. Yes, they did. They counted the vote, and he won the illegal alien vote. That's how he won.
I mean, that guy, I don't know. God bless you guys for having him because we need stuff like that. I think in our favor.
What I said before is he's proposing they're going to pass a city estate tax. Can you imagine if the city of Missouri said, "Hey,
now that
everybody's estate's more than 700,000, we're going to charge an estate tax in the city."
That would be
crazy. So what is that tax? That tax is at 1.5 million now, or more than that. He wants to reduce it to 700,000.
No, it's 10 or 15 million a person.
Oh, it's that high. And he wants to reduce it to 750,000. How's that going to go for him? Right?
This is
in
how
New York City.
This
that's
is how you take
$300,000, right?
Yeah. Again, and he's not in office. If the illegals don't vote for him, then he's not in office. But they're only voting in the city of New York. Now, they're not voting anyplace else in the country.
They're not voting in Missouri. They're not voting in St. Louis.
Well, I don't know how your race is going for the state Senate seat, but you might want to court that vote.
Steve, come on.
No, you're going to win anyhow. I know you'll win anyhow.
All right, we're coming back. We got one more segment. It's a Reardon Roundtable, a fiery one. John Lapping, Steve Butts, Ethan's out here, Fred, the whole gang. Sue Thomas got live Sue's News. Queen of All Saints, Fish Fry Fridays.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, the heaviest traffic right now appears to be downtown. If you are eastbound on 6440, headed for the Poplar Street Bridge, it jams near Jefferson. And that is jamming up northbound 55, and that's jammed back onto 44. So it's a slow go to about, just across the bridge to some construction past Route 3. But also jammed is traffic eastbound coming off the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge, and that's due to road work at the 70 split. If you want to take the King Bridge, it looks fine. Now, westbound 70 out of downtown, a little slow at Jennings Station Road. Eastbound is slowing at 270. And then westbound slows again, Lake St. Louis Boulevard out through Wentzville. Southbound 270 is not bad. Northbound, a little bit of moderate volume at Ladue Road. Southbound 55, moderate volume headed for the Bates area. And then southbound 55, it's just moderate volume through the construction zone. So that's on either side of Highway Z. And that's about it. Other than that, we're all right. This report brought to you by me. I'm Sue Thomas. And that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This month, 97.1 FM Talk in Action spotlights Helmets First, a nonprofit promoting kid safety through free bike helmets, education, and partnerships with local police. Officers help fit helmets and connect with kids in the community. Learn how you can help at helmetsfirst.com.
This is an important message for anyone struggling with $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans. Due to ongoing inflation, job loss, and the rising cost of living, many Americans are facing overwhelming credit card balances. If you're drowning in credit card debt, you may qualify for powerful debt relief options currently being offered by National Debt Relief that can significantly reduce what you owe. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a debt consolidation loan. You could qualify for this debt relief option and only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. Act now to see if you qualify. With thousands of 5-star reviews online and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, National Debt Relief has helped over 1 million consumers with their debt that qualified for this relief option. So don't wait. Call the Debt Reduction Hotline now. Dial 800-428-5757. 800-428-5757. That's 800-428-5757.
If you're considering buying or selling a home, when it comes to choosing the Gelman team with eXp Realty, numbers don't lie. Over 1,500 Google and Zillow 5-star reviews, nearly 6,000 homes, and $2.5 billion in real estate sold. 314-336-1991, thegelmanteam.com.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, buy one, get one room of carpet cleaned for free, unlimited rooms of carpet. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them 97.1 sent you.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit throttlenet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Mark Reardon is St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, we are back live at Queen of All Saints here in Oakville in South County. John Lapping, former state senator, and maybe future state senator Steve Butts. He's running for a
From
Senate
your lips
seat.
to God's ears.
And by the way, you're in the house right now. Thank goodness. I know how hard you guys work, but you're on spring break
Spring
this
break.
week. Oh,
That's
my
right.
goodness. I was so worried about our state lawmakers not
Steve,
having enough time off, right?
See, I was speaking from experience. It's much better being a former state senator.
Fred is on the roundtable panel this afternoon as well, because this is a big media story that broke early this morning. It even caught our team at Odyssey and KMOX off guard. But Barry Weiss, who took over CBS News, announced today that she's shutting down the entire CBS News radio network. That news is heard on the hour, every hour on KMOX. KMOX was a original CBS owned and operated station. So there's a lot of history there. Fred, you've worked with CBS reporters and some really good ones for decades and decades, and that was pretty shocking news, I think, today.
Yeah.
Get that mic real close there.
Yeah, it is. I started at KMOX in 1982, so I've been there 44 years now. And I worked with like almost every CBS radio person that you hear on the air all the time. And it's just a shocker to hear that that's going to be done away with, and all the employees are being let go.
It's a major, media story, but let me put it into this perspective, just because I think it's valid. So, and I don't remember the exact date that this took place, but I remember being in Mexico on vacation, and Les Moonves, who was in charge of CBS at the time, and they had all the properties, including CBS Radio News, gave a little speech to the shareholders, and this was awesome to hear on vacation as a guy who's worked in terrestrial radio for my entire life. There is no future in radio. Essentially, he said that, okay? He might not have been too far off the mark, but what happened is CBS spun the entire radio division. So that is when Entercom came in, and they had to sell some of the stations that were originally CBS-owned and operated stations, like KMOX. So that was a pretty big deal. But he made that for the shareholders, right? My guess is Barry's going in. There's a lot of resources, a lot of people that have been there for decade upon decade, and the value of having those top-of-the-hour newscasts is not there for a younger demographic. It just simply isn't. You can get a lot of this stuff on your phone. I think it's sad because I know some of these people, Fred, and I've worked with them as well, but if this doesn't scream a changing media climate, I don't know what does.
And, I think, and it's not just the reporters you hear on the air. There's so much more that CBS Radio does for their 700 affiliates that they've got around the country.
Yeah. They do live hits at different times of the day.
All sorts of sound and other news stories, live hits with other reporters, correspondents. So that's going to be a big hole.
Look, as much as I've been a critic and continue to be a critic of legacy media, right, because I see the bias, I see the mistakes, CBS Radio News was a good product for a long time. And I was proud to be affiliated with them in the time that I was when I was on KMOX. And we also had CBS when I was in Milwaukee. We kind of veered back between ABC Radio News and CBS, but that's a big story. So we're going to see how that kind of shakes out.
Real quick, I'll ask you three media veterans if this type of radio organization just goes out of business. I mean, when there really is news that has to hit the whole country and you like to hear it broadcast anywhere and everywhere, that's
a good question. I think that the resources, look, we have Fox resources, and I would stand by Fox any day when the Nancy Guthrie thing, believe it or not, I just named Nancy Guthrie, who's mentioned her name in 2 weeks, right? And if you would listen back and forth to CNN and Fox, which I did, the reporting was excellent on both of those. The problem is when they get into politics, right? So to your point, there's going to have to be some more resources, whether that's an affiliation with the Associated Press. I don't know what it'll be, but it's a good question because we do, all of our stations dip into those types of resources. It's part of the entire arrangement that CBS had with affiliates. All right, a couple more topics, though. Data centers. Boy, this became hot in Franklin County. There were people that stayed on bleachers until 4:39 in the morning to oppose this, John. Now, these are real issues because in order to have the AI and the movement forward that these companies need, we have to have the data centers. Nobody wants them in their backyard. It's a NIMBY situation. So where does this take us?
Well, right now the direction we're headed in is that these large language model AI functionality that requires these huge data centers, they're having their way. They're going across the country and they're making deals with local governments to build their facility. And like the idea of it not being in my backyard, it's not just if it's built around where you live. Like, so the other night was Franklin County. It's a 660 acre farm. A lot of people, the subdivisions are all around the farm. They don't want it to be in their backyard. It's in everybody's backyard because what they're doing to energy cost. So the reason that we're seeing this in the news in the St. Louis area, there's 3 or 4 of these going on at the same time, is because Missouri's energy costs are about 25% below national average. So what these guys do, they come in, they plug into the grid, they use up all the excess capacity, and the energy costs, they rise. And the president and the administration, they had an executive order type of announcement about 2 or 3 months ago where they said, hey, going forward, these data centers are going to have to do their own energy. They're going to have to go
and some of them are.
And some of them are, but not here in Missouri. Like, this is not what this is about. The legislature, in infinite wisdom, last year changed the law that allows Ameren to charge us for
like work in progress,
which is all this demand's coming in. If these data centers come to be, if they're not in my backyard yet, I can understand why you wouldn't want it in your backyard. I don't want them tapping into our grid because I'm already paying, in my mind, way too much for electricity. If they come in and they build all these things the way they want to build them, then what will happen? Our utility rates will rise.
And we even though, to your point, we get off a little easier here, they're still high. And we have felt, everyone has had to feel them the last couple of years. I have a friend, though, that's moving back from Houston, and I was unaware of this. John and I were talking about this earlier, Steve, and Sue's brother lives down there. He might know. They play before they even pay their electric bill for usage, they pay a flat fee Like, in my friend and they got pools running almost year round and air conditioning year round. She's like $600-700 electric bills a month.
Texas is the largest single data center. It's the more data centers in Texas than almost the rest of the country combined.
Okay, I do know the electric bill because, a lot of comparisons here. We want to be more like Texas, which I don't really think Missouri is on an equal footing with Texas. But I was out to dinner with a good friend in Dallas, and that's the very same thing. I was shocked to know how much they pay for electricity.
And you should be shocked to know that they have data centers all around the state.
But data centers, to just say no to them carte blanche when China's investing in them, India's investing in them. I mean, it's like saying
they're going to happen.
No. You say
the future.
You say no. You can build it, but you need to build your own power. You need to
pay a separate rate. Why doesn't that work?
That's not how, because they lobby and Steve, they lobby and that's not happening here. So what needs to happen here is they need to, because all it does is the people that are building, people who are building the data center. It would just cost them more to build it, and they're trying to negotiate the lowest cost to themselves, even if it means all the residents of Missouri have to pay higher utility rates.
If only we had something like, I don't know, just kind of spitballing here, nuclear power plants. Wouldn't that be something that would help out a lot here?
Well, it's funny. Some of these data center people, a lot of people think that the logical conclusion is they're going to do that. That they're going.
Because I think they'll have to. Right.
But they haven't. My point is to say here in the St. Louis area in particular, because there's 4 of these fights going on at the same time. That's not what's on the table now. What's on the table now, they want to build a data center and then plug into the grid and watch all of our rates go up and say, oh, that's just the way it works.
All right, hey, we got to wrap things up here, and we started with the NCAA tournament here in St. Louis, an amazing game between Santa Clara and Kentucky. SLU's big win last night, so they go on to play the 1 seed. Mizzou plays tonight at Enterprise Center. But also, this is the final roundtable before the start of baseball season. Opening day is next Thursday, provided that there is no rain out. They leave that Friday open. Level of optimism, Steve Butts, for this season.
The more I've followed them during spring training, I'm somewhat optimistic. I do not think this is going to be a horrible season. I mean, I don't say we're going to win the Central or anything like that. I think they're going to put a good, young, hungry, competitive product on the field, which is really all you can ask in a rebuild situation. Get some young guys that really want to play well, and I guess Heim Bloom.
I'm more excited.
I'm hitching my wagon to Heim.
I'm more excited to go now than I've been in 4 or 5 or 6 years.
Well, you've been.
But they're going to be
boycotting.
Horrible. But they're going to be horrible.
Yeah. Well, you know what, though?
Mark the
let's
tape.
See.
March 20th, 2026. Steve Butts says they're not going to be horrible. We're going to be competitive.
I think we might exceed expectations because there's a little confidence in the rotation. But, all right. But, there's injuries and everything comes into play. We'll see what happens, right? I am excited. Look, I don't know how much you got into the World Baseball Classic. I loved it. And I wasn't even that upset that Venezuela won because
it was
good
a great
for them.
Game.
It
Venezuela
was really fun to watch.
win that game.
Right.
And the exuberance of the Venezuelan fans, that's a great tournament. And that was a great game.
All right. Hey, thank you guys for coming out. I must say, though, I'm a little disappointed because our favorite member of the Lamping family just showed up, John's mom. We would have probably rather had her on the show this afternoon. But we appreciate you guys coming out. And, Ethan, we're going to continue here in a moment on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Newsflash, that's Joyce. It's Fred's neighbor who buys him all of the clothing. Just shirts. Yes. Okay, on the roads, we do have some volume out there. Eastbound 6440 is jammed, and this is from about Jefferson across the Poplar Street Bridge. And we've got road work eastbound 70 at 64, so it's slow on the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge, too. And northbound 55 is jammed back onto 44, headed for the bridge. That's the slow problem. And westbound 70 looks okay out of downtown. Little slow at Jennings Station Road at Zumbell. And out at Highway A through Wentzville. 64 is lined up. Now, this is approaching Hampton out through McCausland, and then again, Highway N out through Wentzville. Eastbound 70, a little slow in Wright City, but most of the volume is east of Forestell through about Wentzville. And southbound 55, slowing at Bates, and then again, kind of on either side of Highway Z. This report is brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they have been St. Louis's trusted choice. And this is for transforming homes inside and out. Outdoor spaces, kitchens, siding, windows, bathrooms. They give you quality craftsmanship backed by lifetime warranties. Visit lakesiderd.com to start your dream project today. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We have this great feature on our Odyssey app, the Rewind feature. You can go back 24 hours and listen to what was on the show. I suggest that you do that for yesterday at 4:30 because Stuart Rosenblum was on, Stewie, as we call him. He's got the bagel loan, and you've probably heard about it, but he had a great breakdown of the spring buying season and the best way to approach some of these things, especially with his company, because the bagel loan is unique. He's the only lender to offer this, which, pay no appraisal fees, no closing costs, no title fees, no broker fees, zero. So if you're looking to refi, the rates are going up and down a little bit, but you are going to save money just by doing that. So let's talk about purchases. If you take out a loan for $200,000 or more, zero lender fees. And he can do this because he and his son basically running the company. It's one of the reasons we give you his cell phone number, which is 314-324-4440. Quick closes, too. He made that very clear yesterday. In as little as 10 days, he has the ability to do that, and it's very transparent. If you're skeptical, he can appreciate that. He'd love to hear from you. Text him, 314-324-4040. Stuart and Stewie's American Mortgage, NMLS number 226715.
If you live in Missouri, have Medicaid, and need a caregiver, this message is important. Care at home is personal. That's why you may not want a stranger in your home to take care of you. You want someone who already knows you and your daily routines. With Freedom Care, you choose a trusted family member, a friend, or a neighbor. They will get paid after every shift to care for you, and it's 100% free to you. More than 70,000 people have already joined the Freedom Care family. Call your local Freedom Care. They'll check your Medicaid eligibility. Don't wait until a stranger shows up at your door. If you have Medicaid and need help at home, this care is available 100% free to you. Call Freedom Care now to see if you qualify. 314-343-1362. 314-343-1362. That's 314-343-1362.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
At a local speed dating event, homeowners weren't looking for love. They were looking for the one.
Honey, I got the best news.
What, you installed all the ceiling fans?
No, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Yeah, oh, you are, but this one is certified, background check, and everyone was fighting over him. Plus, he can install all the ceiling fans.
Okay, who is this guy?
A Jerry Kelly technician.
For heating, cooling, electrical, or plumbing, find the one for your home. Schedule today at
JerryKelly.com.
Lifestyles Unlimited is a real estate education group that gives you the roadmap and resources to start building income through real estate. You'll learn practical strategies for using investment properties to create extra income and make informed decisions, one step at a time. Join today for just $297. That's a 60% savings off the regular price of our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
KFTK FM Florissant.
An Odyssey station.
Texas Bill Mallusion on Capitol Hill. Democrats refuse to fund DHS without reforms to ICE and Customs and Border Protection for immigration operations. Instead, they have offered to fund TSA, the Coast Guard, and FEMA separately so that they can get paid, but Republicans refuse. The UK gave the U.S. permission today to use its base to launch strikes against Iranian sites targeting the Strait of Hormuz. That decision comes after President Trump called NATO cowards for not helping secure the strait. And the U.S. is launching strikes today along Iran's southern coast.
The Pentagon says A-10 Warthogs are now engaging targets along Iran's southern coastline in an attempt to open up the Strait of Hormuz.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in Dubai. And this as the Pentagon deploys more warships and Marines to the Middle East.
In San Diego, the USS Boxer setting sail with the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit, the Pride of the Pacific, bringing more than 2,000 Marines to the Middle East. It will take about a month to arrive.
Iran's special Supreme Leader also issued a statement today. Fox's Mike Tobin from Tel Aviv.
While Israel is actively hunting what remains of the leadership in Iran, the new Supreme Leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, has not been seen. But suddenly today, there was a statement read reportedly by him on Iranian state TV that counters what Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, that Iran can no longer manufacture missiles or enrich uranium. Messages today said Iran can indeed make missiles.
And stocks tumbled with the conflict continuing. The Dow lost 444 points. The S&P 500, 100 points.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-515-1771. That's 800-515-1771. 800-515-1771.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The spring season is officially underway starting mid-morning today. Lots of sunshine. Doesn't really feel like spring. Almost feels like summer. Early summer anyway. 84 for the high. Tonight, mostly clear. Nice evening as we drop back into the 70s. 53 for the low. Saturday, sunny and 81. Sunday, sunny, 85. Cooler, 59 for the high on Monday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This hour of the Mark Reardon Show is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Call Gamma Tree Experts. This is the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, welcome back. Queen of All Saints Fish Fry Fridays, sponsored by Apache Village RV, and we're having a lot of fun. It was a great roundtable. Thanks to John Lamping and Steve Butts. Fred and Ethan and Brian are out here. Sue Thomas is settling into her new location because I had Senator Lamping next to me just for convenience. Alexa Reardon is here today for the broadcast. Hi. Amanda Mertens, our neighbor, is here, and she actually has a radio station that she participates in at Rockwood Summit. So
that's kind of like you.
Well, I was a high school kid, right? I was a high school kid, and I started at this little YMCA station that was. I always like to talk about it. It was 10 watts. You could barely get it out of the parking lot, but it was a station. Yes, we had people that call and requested songs and things like that. It was funny because when the blizzard took place in '82, we went up to the station and signed it on, and we acted like we were KMOX, like we did school closings and stuff like that. It was awesome. I mean, because I'm dorky enough to be listening to news talk radio when I was 15, 16 years old. That's just the way it was.
You probably only had to do one school closing.
Yeah, ours. Right, exactly. Hey, we love being at these fish fries. We're always impressed with the way that the operation, the machinery works at these. Eric Treptow is here at Queen of All Saints. He's one of the big head honchos for the fish fry. Do you have an official title, Eric? Get real close to that mic. Real close.
I'm the retired guy in charge of fish fries.
There you go. Does that say that on the business card?
Yeah. I do the important stuff. Just a little while ago, I was working on the dumpsters. So.
Oh, yeah, you get all the important stuff. Well, no, seriously, first and foremost, thank you for having us again. We love being out here. We've been out here a couple of times. The room is starting to get a little bit more full than it was an hour ago, right?
That's awesome.
But it is a lot, and it's a beautiful day, so that might draw some more people out as well, right?
Yep. We're all into metrics, and we looked. And last time you were here, it bumped us up about 150 people, so we're looking forward to it.
Analytics. Nice. That's right. You can do instant replay now and all that stuff too.
Right.
Well, what is we always like to point out the differences, the uniqueness of all these fish fries. Maybe put a little their own stamp on it, right? So what do you guys do here?
Yeah. Well, so I like to tell people that we stay in our lane. We don't have a big facility, so we can't do the big variety like some of the other guys do. They do a great job with it. So we do a really nice job. We get the best cod we can get, and we have some people in the kitchen who really know the culinary side of things, and they steer us in the direction of a really nice presentation of baked cod, fried cod chunks, and shrimp, and of course a lot of nice sides.
I like that you can't get bigger than you need to be, and you just focus on the good stuff, right? That's very smart.
I have to say, I always appreciate the baked. If you don't want the fried, you can get the baked. And we are going to feed Fred some shrimp. He's only had one or two fried shrimp, so I told him this is a good place to follow
Fred's a
up.
little new to the seafood. He's only been on the planet for 65 years.
I'm
but
slow.
Hasn't really
Right.
tried too much
But
seafood.
We'll hook you up.
We've been talking about God's cod for a long time here coming here.
Yep, that's us. We got God's God.
So what's your total then expected? Obviously amplified by 97.1 FM Talk. But what are we looking at here?
Anywhere between 800 and 1,000.
Okay, that's pretty good. We've had a couple that have been like 1,500, maybe 2,000, but those are bigger. I mean, look, when we were at Assumption a couple weeks ago,
like
the
2,000.
line was from out the door to the arch, I think.
Yeah.
It was like unbelievable.
Well, and this is it's really a nice location, and you don't have to wait too long. And you get a nice choice. And Fred and I have checked out desserts. What are you getting, Fred?
I'm going to get the poppy seed cake.
Yeah, that looked really good, Mark
The
Reardon.
desserts are usually pretty solid here, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes,
right?
we get a lot of help from our parish families with the desserts, which is a little unique for us, another thing that we do. And we love it.
Wait, was this spring break this week too for the school? Okay, I thought it was.
So that's why
More quiet.
we didn't have the crazy parent line
Right.
picking up kids when we get out here.
Yes.
Tell us about how many volunteers it takes to pull something like this off.
Well, it's hard to give you a number. Like tonight, I'll have like 35 to 40 men and women working here, kids that need service hours just to put on tonight. But then leading up tonight, my committee of 8 helps me get everything prepared, and we're working on this since January, right? And then things that have to happen through the week, picking up new stuff, new supplies, that kind of stuff. So I'd say all told, we've got 40 to 45 regular workers.
I have an unpaid speeding ticket, and can I just do preemptively some volunteer work because I'll probably be sentenced to probation or
No.
something like
All
that.
right.
If you
And-
want to put me to work in the kitchen, I'm there for you.
We have a few county police officers at work that are in our church. I'll set you up with them,
Don't
too.
have them check the warrants, though. Please do not
Okay.
let them check the warrants. Thank you so much for having us out here, and have a great time,
We
Eric.
appreciate
we
you
know
coming.
that people are jamming the room
How
right
long
now.
are you open?
Yeah,
Till-
you serve until when?
Till 7.
Till 7 o'clock. Awesome.
Yep.
We're going to pack the room. Great to see you. Fred and Sue and I are going to have a little chat. Maybe Ethan can join in here because I had to point something out. And Fred, you're the smart one where you're not on Facebook at all, right?
No.
Okay, that's so smart. I'm so envious of that. But Sue, you are. And Ethan, you on Facebook or not? Okay. So this is one of those things that I just don't understand. And maybe you've seen it. It recirculates from time to time, right? The last time I saw this circulate was several years ago, and it's amazing to me. I'm going to bring this up because I'm not trying to make people out there feel stupid, but some of the people that I know that are posting this are smart people. And I don't understand what they're doing. So here's one. Okay, and I've seen a couple of people that I'm friends with. They post this. Big day tomorrow. It's official. Signed at 6 a.m. It was even on TV. Mine really turned blue. Don't forget that tomorrow marks the start of the new Facebook rule, which allows them to use your photos. Don't forget, the deadline is today. Hold your finger anywhere in this message and copy will appear. Click copy, then go to your page, create a new post. Place your finger anywhere in the empty field. Paste will appear. Click paste. This will bypass the system. He who does nothing consents. According to the show 60 Minutes, just in case you missed it, and I'm not going to go on from here because it's all a lie. But people post this like it's real, and they've done it for years, and for whatever reason, it's repopulating and recirculating right now. Ladies and gentlemen, stop doing stupid things. That is not real.
No, it is not real.
Never has been real. And why you would think that posting, and this is my favorite part. You're posting your pictures for the world to see anyway, you idiots.
And the world can download them.
Yes. So you're out there on Facebook to begin with. Take your pictures down. Don't let whatever stupid rule that's not going to take place happen scare you into it's unreal. I mean, the level of stupidity with people that ordinarily are smart shocks me. It shocks me. It really does. I don't even know how to put it into words.
I know. I mean, I could be dumb about things too, but this did not get me.
Yeah, but you've seen it this week probably, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you know what I love it? Sometimes people go, oh, I know this isn't true, but just to be safe. Really?
Yeah.
Really? Just to be safe. I'm sorry. All right, what do we got coming up here? We have Sue's News in just a couple of minutes. We have Kenny Wallace coming out in the next hour. And that is going to be fun. I think he's bringing some family members, which is exciting. We always love visiting with Kenny, and we took a shot, and this was somewhat in his neighborhood because he's down
south.
55, right?
Yeah.
And that'll be a lot of fun. So we're going to visit with him in an hour. We also have in the, I keep forgetting what else is happening in the 5, but Susan L. Ward's going to come by. We will have audio cut of the day. I got a couple of topics to toss out to the team as well. But Frank Cusumano is in Buffalo, the site of SLU's big win last night. It's great that he doesn't have to turn around and come back right away, and neither does the team. Ethan, do we know what time that game is at tomorrow?
Yeah,
the SLU
it's
game?
like 11:10.
That's the early slot. Yeah,
Okay,
they switched it because they both played late last night. So now they switched. Now they're both playing Saturday morning.
Well, it is what it is.
I went to a watch party last night, a Billiken watch party at The Pitch, which is a bar right connected to Union Station, right across the street from Maggie O'Brien's. With a bunch of SLU fans watched it on big screens.
By the soccer
all over.
place. Yeah,
by
the soccer pitch.
right. Cat a corner from the soccer field. It was just incredible. Everybody standing up, high-fiving, jumping up and down.
Love it.
It was great.
I'm always impressed with Fred's social life, which is a lot more
let me tell you something
expansive than me. He's always got plans. He's doing this guy. I'm sitting in my damn basement. That's all I'm doing.
I'm not on Facebook.
Well, that's why you have all that time. That's right.
Fred gets out. That's all I'm saying.
I need to get out more, especially when the weather's nice. And the weather is nice, and it's going to continue to be nice this weekend. What are you going to say?
I was just going to say that Frank has said on social media that a lot of Billikens fans traveled to Buffalo. They had a good crowd there last night.
I heard that.
Nice.
And I imagine that there's going to be another good crowd there for the second round game against Michigan tomorrow morning.
Look, I give them a legit shot against Michigan. I really do.
We'll see. Anything can happen in March. That's what I'll put it to. I will not put it past
but that
anything
team
happening.
Looked confident last night.
They did. They looked really good.
Look, I've seen. We were talking about this a little off the air. Steve and I were. Steve Butts, because Mizzou's the same way. I mean, they could come out and look like they're on fire. They can beat anyone in the country. But they're almost sometimes exactly the opposite. There doesn't seem to be like any gray area in between. I can usually tell, not 100%, but you can usually, eyeball it in the first 5 minutes of the game and say, okay, this is going to be competitive. And, last night, if you did that, you would have thought it was going to be a close game with SLU. It didn't turn out that way. Did they really score over 100 points? Because I turned it off.
102.
Wow.
Both them and Illinois had beatdowns last night. Illinois, they won last night as well.
Right.
They'll play VCU, who had a crazy upset yesterday as well.
And that was great
over
for the A-10
North Carolina.
as well, wasn't it?
So the A-10 has two teams in the second round. That's great for them.
Who did High Point upset yesterday, Ethan?
Wisconsin.
Who was it again?
Thank
you.
Wisconsin.
He said Wisconsin. My daughter even heard you say Wisconsin, and she popped up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She was not born there, but she knows Milwaukee very well, as you know. We're coming back. It's Fish Fry Fridays at Queen of All Saints. We have Sue's News live coming up next.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Hey, watch out for a jam eastbound 6440 headed for and crossing the Poplar Street Bridge. We've also got volume eastbound 70 coming off the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge. Westbound traffic on 40. That's a slow go. It's approaching Hampton out through McCausland and then slowing again, but it's all the way out Highway N through 70. Now 70 isn't bad, some moderate volume here and there, a little bit past the airport and at K, and then Lake St. Louis Boulevard on out through the Wentzville area. Eastbound is slow out there too, headed for Wentzville. Now, if you are on southbound 55, it's a little slow at Bates and kind of on either side of Highway Z. And then that's about it. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Triton Exteriors. We take care of your home. It's that simple. Triton-STL.com. Home improvement projects can come with a lot of headaches. We save you time by offering packaged services that are easy to understand and based on your needs. We take care of the details so you don't have to. Visit us at Triton-STL.com. That's Triton-STL.com.
Well, let's take a look. I haven't done this yet today, so let's do this in real time and see how the stock market did today. Not so well. We are down to 45,577, and that makes it even more important you get together with the team from the Retirement Advisory Group. I think very soon, even maybe as early as next week or the following week, we'll have another date for a seminar that we do. We've already knocked one of those down with Thomas and the team. They're the official financial planners of Mark's show in the morning, Annie's show, and my show. And Thomas really offers you a little bit of a difference than what you might be used to with traditional brokers and financial advisors. And he's going to teach you a strategy to make sure you have enough money to last through retirement. And the key is safely linking to the market to make sure that you don't lose your principal. No client of Thomas has ever lost their principal, and he can explain why. Now, since we don't have the seminar announced, you can go one-on-one into the office, discover, what your retirement looks like with the team. They'll come up with very specifics after they look at your financial situation and determine your needs, and then you'll get a custom strategy to help you really reach and understand your unique retirement goals. Everyone is different, of course, and they know that at the Retirement Advisory Group. Get with them today. Call 314-993-9494. The website, retirementkey.com.
When you're injured on the job, you need more than just a workers' comp lawyer. When you need a fighter, you need us. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. For the people. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Tired of mice? Point Pest Control finds their entry points, eliminates the infestation, and seals them out for good with our exclusion services. Mention Annie to get 10% off on top of any other special. Call 636-798-0023. Visit Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Life can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to go through it alone. On my podcast, From the Heart with Rachel Braithen, I share openly and vulnerably about everything life brings us and what we can learn by living with our hearts a little bit more open. Every Friday, a new episode brings you a new story with topics on self-care, motherhood, healing, and more. You are enough, just the way you are. And this podcast is a reminder of that. Follow and listen to From the Heart with Rachel Braithen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Mark Reardon Show is St. Louis conservative.
Hey, we're live at Queen of All Saints. It's Fish Fry Fridays. It's very sad because we're down to the last two. We'll do one more next Friday. It's all sponsored by Apache Village RV Center. They have locations in Hazelwood and in O'Fallon. Hey, this is fun. Later this hour, Paul Hall with entertainment, and also Cusumano live in Buffalo. It must feel so good to not have to turn back right around and get back on a plane to head back to St. Louis. But we have Sue's News coming up right now, so Daniel is in the studio. Let's hit that.
These allegations are deeply concerning.
Does the president have any comment?
We're not going to comment. It's not clear messaging. No.
And now, Sue's News. Brought to you by Sue.
Fred, did we all say hi to Joyce?
Yeah, we did. I was so excited. I was surprised she came here.
Okay, were you aware that Joyce was Joyce's Fred's neighbor who basically runs Fred's life, along with Fred's wife Marie?
Just his shirts.
Okay.
As we know.
Were you aware that she was coming, though?
No.
Okay.
We have an agreement. She supplies my clothing, and Marie supplies her food.
See? All right, that works out well. It's good to see her, though. Hi, Joyce.
I lost track of her. Where is she?
She's right over there. You can't miss her. Spring.
Hi, Joyce. There she is.
Joyce.
She's waving.
There you go. Spring began today. Happy spring. Isn't that nice?
It feels like it.
Oh, it's so great. It's also National Macaron Day. Now, I love a macaron.
I do, too.
I just think they're heaven. My husband thinks,
you know
what
what
do you
Collins
think?
cookies is?
I can take them or leave them.
It's sugar. You like sugar.
Yeah.
Ethan?
He's not even
the
sure what it is.
Oh, he's looking it up really quickly.
You know what Collins Cookies is?
Yeah.
Well, they used to be in Clayton. I don't know if they're. I think they're still there. They make great macarons.
Oh,
I don't know if
good.
I've ever had one.
Oh, well, we could change
they're fancy,
that.
yet delicious.
They're beautiful.
And
they're gorgeous.
They look yummy.
I one time went to a cooking class with Random Thoughts, Lori Waters from Channel 4, and we went and learned how to make those, and it's really cool, but it's pretty much, it's very it's labor intensive.
It's no more difficult than sourdough bread.
Well, maybe not, Fred. That's a good point. It's also National Ravioli Day.
Oh,
yes.
that's good.
Oh, dang it, Bill.
The bell. We need a new bell. Can we just go to Amazon?
It
Who's
feels
got
like
an Amazon account that we can use?
It feels like Ravioli Day should have been last week. Maybe 314.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I know.
It's also National Proposal Day. So if you've been thinking about your significant other, thinking you want to pop the question, today is the day. Apparently there are 2 of them a year. Okay.
Really?
We really
One's
push
not
the old
enough. We
thing.
got to get these people married.
I guess. All right. Now, on this day in history, 27 years ago, in 1999, Legoland opened in Carlsbad, California. I bring this up because I've never been, and it didn't exist when we were kids. So I don't really know about it. Is it a thing? Like,
I think it used to be.
Yes.
Yeah,
it used to be.
Do the boys want? Did they want?
When they were young, they wanted to. We went out to California, but we ended up just doing Disney in California.
Oh, okay.
Rather than
Legoland. So it's not worth it, or it is?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't go.
Did you want
Sounds
to go,
great.
Ethan?
I never went. Never been.
You know, the amazing thing is one of my sons still builds Legos,
That's
and
cool.
he's in his mid-20s. But
It's fun.
you know, they're getting bigger and more intricate and more
And
expensive.
also more expensive. They're very expensive.
I was way late to the game on this because when my kids were younger, like your kids, they did some Legos and stuff. But then when Alexa started getting them and I realized how intricate they were,
They
I'm like, wait a
are.
second, that's not your dad's or your grandfather's Legos. And to your point, Ethan, some of them, like if you get, I know that they've done some cross-branding and promotion like Star Wars or
Yes,
whatever.
like the
It's like
Death Star.
$100 for some of those things.
more.
More than that.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
more.
But good for Lego and coming up. I mean, think about that. You had to. There had to be a moment in time where Lego was like, "We're dead," right?
Right.
Who's gonna play with these things?
Yeah,
We
with
could put
today's
together a block
day
man.
and age of technology, like
Right?
it's a good toy to
I give
kind
them
of
a lot of
keep you
credit. I
keep you
give them a lot
grounded
of
and
credit.
off the electronics.
I think like people the age of Fred's sons like it just to unwind. You know,
I agree.
it's the
My
old
generation.
model
Yeah.
painting of this generation. All right, and also 20 years ago today, this is a big milestone. It was 2006. Actually, this is tomorrow. I cheated.
That's
A
okay.
guy who grew up in St. Louis, listening to Scanners, sent out the first public tweet. Yep, Jack Dorsey's Twitter was born. Now, at the beginning, it was no vowels, so it was TWTTR. And his first tweet was, quote, just setting up my TWTTR, followed 12 minutes later by, quote, inviting coworkers. And later that year, he renamed it Twitter. Twitter is 20 years
So,
old.
Fred, you may or may not remember this, but we used to have these meetings on that second level in the KMOX building. Remember that little room up there? We would have like staff meetings. I was early in on Twitter.
I
was
thought
the
so.
first one
Yeah, you were.
on KMOX and
Really?
everywhere, and I was touting its possibilities way before a lot of other people. In fact, here's a little Mark Reardon trivia for you. I once won, and I'll never win one again, and I knew that. I won an A-list award from St. Louis Magazine
Look
for
at you.
being the top Twitterer. Now, most people who knew me pointed out that probably should have been top twit, and I accept that. But I have that A-list framed in my office because
Heck yeah.
once they knew my politics, I never was considered for St. Louis Magazine A-list again. But I made it that one time, and I'm very proud of it.
You guys, we've been talking about, of course, NCAA basketball, but they have put out the rules. There are those who compete in March Madness must follow a strict set of rules. And I read through these today, and I thought, well, this is actually kind of interesting.
Wait, you talking about the teams or the people doing brackets?
No, the players themselves.
Okay, all right.
These aren't like Academy Award
No,
rules.
no, no.
Okay.
This is, number one, they can make their own brackets as long as there's no money involved.
Right, that makes sense.
Right? Anybody who violates the betting rules could face really severe penalties. Jewelry is not allowed, and headwear is limited. So there are specific rules for headbands, and barrettes and bobby pins are a no-no.
I hate these professional athletes or even collegiate athletes wearing jewelry when they're playing baseball. And good.
Okay,
Ban it.
fine.
Wear your jewelry. I don't
Bad
care.
in football too. It's
really
bad in
bad in
football.
football.
It doesn't even belong there.
Men have
Except for earrings. I'm going to stand up for earrings. Smart. Everything else I don't like.
What a
Thank you.
surprise.
All right.
Good save.
Men have to tuck their jerseys into their shorts, but women do not, since theirs are usually shorter. Fingernails must be clipped and cannot be excessively long.
But that makes sense. It really,
really
does. With
does.
as much contact as there is.
And they say you can paint them. So, Fred, you could paint them when you're out there.
All right.
Players cannot lift or carry their teammates. So, yeah. I maybe after the
Like
game.
in celebration,
But
you mean?
I don't know. That's just
You try
whatever
telling
the
that
rule
to a
is.
Cinderella team.
Right. And there are strict rules for sportsmanship. Players must be respectful, or they could receive an infraction. And, of course, tobacco is completely prohibited. So if you don't see any jewelry and you see short nails, they really are trying to
The tobacco
organize.
prohibition might be a little bit more on the pouches because, people do
Oh,
that.
yeah, like the Zins and all that stuff.
I
yeah.
see a lot of players like taking time to tuck in their shirts too.
Yeah, they do
when they're
that.
on the court.
They do that. All right, this is weird. All right, scientists at the University of Texas, El Paso have built a lifelike 3D printed robot rattlesnake. Why? I don't know why. This is so weird. They wanted to find out if the rattle scared other animals. So it showed that animals reacted far more strongly when it rattled versus when the robot was silent. Well, duh.
Right. I hope the taxpayers paid for this one. Are you kidding me?
I mean,
there's so many of these studies that we could have had 2 or 3 people just say, this is what it is. We don't have to spend millions to study it.
I don't. And then there was a story out today about the James Webb Space Telescope. It continues to send back incredible images from its time in space. I'm just amazed by this thing. The most recent is a light from the spiral galaxy NGC 5134, which was emitted around the time the T-Rex went extinct.
No.
What?
That's crazy.
That is nuts. This kind of stuff blows my mind.
I know.
It's mind-boggling.
Makes you feel real small.
Yes, that they can capture photos from 65 million light years away. And the pictures offer astronomers, of course, a snapshot into the deep past. So they're trying to figure out how galaxies even come to be. Oh, and if you are a Stranger Things person, Ethan, the complete Stranger Things series is going to be released in 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray on July 28th. So there's going to be a standard and deluxe edition, cost up to $269.99. The standard and deluxe editions will include interviews with a cast and crew, behind-the-scenes footage, set tours, and bloopers. Bloopers would be fun.
Is there an option to get all of that except for the final season, which I decided to skip because
if so, I'm in.
It just lost me.
Oh. And finally, in Sue's News, we have today's random fact. Okay, and this is random. Birds... Birds don't pee. They don't even have urethras. So everything goes out with their poop. So if you get a bird that poops on you, you're getting a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Because the birds do not pee.
And if you don't have an appetite after that at a fish fry in South County at Queen of All Saints, I don't know what would give you an appetite.
I'm here to help.
That is beautiful. And
Thank
that wraps a live Sue's News at our fish fry here. We have Fox Business coming up after that. Paul Hall on entertainment in just a few minutes on 97.1 FM Talk. What's that?
Your money now.
Mark Reardon?
Well, the U.S. is increasing its military presence in the Strait of Hormuz in an effort to reopen the vital shipping route for crude oil. Warplanes and helicopters are reportedly currently targeting Iranian drones and vessels as the conflict reaches its 3rd week. More than 2,200 Marines are reportedly heading to the area. President Trump says he has no plans to send ground troops into Iran, though. The buildup comes as the blocked waterway continues to cause a major increase in global energy prices. And the U.S. Treasury and the Department of Education are partnering up to fix the mismanaged $1.7 trillion student loan system. Under the new plan, the Treasury will now take over the job of collecting payments from borrowers who have fallen behind. Officials say that the student loan debt is now larger than the nation's total credit card or car loan debt. The goal of the partnership is to help 25% of borrowers that are currently in default to return to a regular payment schedule. On Wall Street, stocks were down sharply today, the Nasdaq leading the way. That is your money now.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Here's a good project for this weekend, maybe for you to take care of. The weather's going to be beautiful. If you're out and about, swing into one of the 3 locations of Michael's Flooring Outlet, and they're going to take great care of you. Maybe you're noodling around on a flooring project, either silky soft carpeting or some hard flooring. They have everything. The options are unlimited. The technology is amazing. The reviews for Michael's are also amazing. They do top-notch work here in the St. Louis area. They will not be open on Sunday. They're closing on Sunday because Mike gives the team off, which I think is awesome. But every other day of the week, you can go into Old Town St. Peter's. Beautiful, beautiful store there. Darting Prairie and in West County on Olive. Talk to someone in the store. Tell them what you're interested in. These are not people who, unlike a big box store, have had this gig for just a few weeks or a few months. They know what they're talking about. They have expertise. They have knowledge. And they can make your project go that much better because of all that. And the options that you have for products to put in your home are just incredible. And you can do these things on a budget, too. I promise you, because I've done it. Michael's Flooring Outlet. 3 great locations. The website, igotfloor.com.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Time is 4:32. This time check is brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Born in the Midwest, built on common sense. FM Talk. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, welcome back. We're live at Queen of All Saints. A big crowd building here this afternoon. We got Kenny Wallace swinging by in the next hour. There's a lot of fish to eat as well. And it is a beautiful afternoon, Sue.
It is.
Gorgeous.
There's a nice breeze. Spring is here.
Paul Hall is up in the Milwaukee area. That's his home. He's from Common Guy Films, here to share some entertainment recommendations. How are you? How's your weather up there?
You know, we had a blizzard on Monday here, Mark, and the snow's almost all gone already.
Is
Shut
it?
down the city. We got it up and running, and we're back to normal.
How much did you get?
Anywhere from 10-ish in the area here, but you go up to Green Bay, you're talking 2 feet. You go to the top part of the state, you're talking about a little over 2 feet.
So in Milwaukee, though, 10 inches, ladies and gentlemen, that's a dusting. I'm just telling you right now. That's not even a big deal at all. All right, let's start. I think we have Daniel's back in the studio. I think we have some audio for this. Let's start with Project Hail Mary. I think. Maybe not. Do we have that audio or not? I don't think we have it. Daniel, do we have that? If we don't have it, it's fine. I can move on.
Health Matters with Fred Bottomer.
No, that's not it. No, let's take that down. Okay, Paul, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, let's just talk about the film. Sorry, there's communication issues.
You know, live radio, this is how it goes. We're going to talk about Project Hail Mary because this is what I would call a full thumbs down movie.
Wow.
But that's a good thing.
Oh.
You'll have to see the movie to see why I say it's thumbs down. There's communication that goes on in this movie between Ryan Gosling's character, Ryland Grace, and an alien played by the lovable Rocky. Rocky can't turn his thumb up. So that's why I would say this is a thumbs down movie. It is, this is a story from Andy Weir. Andy Weir gave us The Martian. So we know what kind of pedigree we're coming to the table with. And here Gosling wakes up in the middle of a space station with people around him in comas deep into space. Doesn't know why he's there, doesn't really know what he's doing there. And as things you learn through flashbacks, you learn through the rest of the tale, he's out there to save Earth because something is killing the sun. He meets up with his other alien, this Rocky character, and the two of them both are coming from different planets to both save their planets and save humanity as you know it. This has so much more heart than most space movies. Most space movies rely on typically just kind of blowing your mind with effects and all that good stuff. This has got a story, and it's a long plotting story. My one complaint with the film, it's a little over 2.5 hours long, which means you're spending 3 hours in the theater with trailers to get through it. My only complaint, and you know what? I never felt bored for 2.5 hours. That says something. I think Oscar's race is on for next year for some of the stuff from this movie. Project Hail Mary, a definite recommendation in my book.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And I talked about it a couple of days ago just because I think Hollywood is putting out such trash. You know, I did this for a long time, review films. I didn't watch 1 minute of the Oscars. I have no reason to watch. And let's just look back at the past few Oscar winners for Best Picture. Parasite, Completely overrated. Most people have never seen it. Nomadland. I like that. Okay, Frances McDormand was in it. It should not have been even nominated for Best Picture. Coda in 2022. That's actually a good movie.
I liked that one.
Really, really good. That was probably well-deserving, and that was an Apple TV Plus movie. 2023, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Awful. Nobody saw it. It shouldn't have been nominated.
I saw it.
2024, Oppenheimer. I liked Oppenheimer quite a bit, and I did think that was at least, deserving of nomination. Anora. Nobody saw that movie. Nobody wants to see that movie. No one will be talking about that movie in the future. One battle after another. Most people hated that movie, and it was long, and they haven't seen it. So Hollywood has completely lost touch with what people want to see in the theaters. This is why I'm rooting for Project Hail Mary, having not seen it, because I think we need some movies that are fun. And by the way, that aren't sequels. And when I say sequels, we're deep into sequels. We're not at, Toy Story 4. We're at Toy Story 8 and 9. So give us some stories that we can root for, and it sounds like this might be one of them, Paul.
Andy Weir, The Martian was spectacular. This is another book, and he's got another book out there called Artemis. We have the Artemis mission right now that's going on within NASA. I think we're going to see that developed as well. So you're going to see, it's not necessarily a sequel, but they're same projects from the same guy. He just knows how to deliver crowd-pleasing entertainment and give actors like Gosling, or before that Matt Damon in The Martian, roles that they can sink their teeth into and really do a number with the audience. So,
I love it. That's great
stuff. I like Project Hail Mary a whole lot.
All right, so I did not know until maybe 5 days ago that they were doing a sequel to Jury Duty. Jury Duty, which was on Amazon several years ago, which had a kid that was on a jury. He was told that they were filming a documentary, but he didn't know anything more than that, and every other person in the series was an actor. So he was being completely faked out. It was exceptionally funny, very well done. James Marsden was in it. He played himself. But we all thought to ourselves after we saw that, they can't do this again. Well, they couldn't do it again with the same setting, but they've chosen to do it again in a different setting. Does it work?
And they amped it up, Mark. This is a phenomenal series. I had so much fun. I binged the whole thing. I think the first 3 episodes are out for folks now on Prime, and then we're going to see 2 episodes next week and 3 episodes last week. So not one a week. You're going to get through it in about 3 weeks, the entirety of the show, including that last reveal show that comes about. They took what they did in the past and they made it exponentially bigger. We've got a company that's got a new intern in the house. He's our Mark, shall we say, and they're on a company retreat. Now, those of us who have been in business for many, many years have been on a retreat of some form or another. You will resonate with the things that go on this retreat. The interactions between coworkers. And, oh, by the way, the boss is trying to give the company to his son, and another company gets involved to potentially buy it. So those are some of the extra little things that go on here, and it will let you laugh from start to finish. I found myself laughing out loud in a room by myself as I went through this. I think that's a good sign.
If you've never seen the original Jury Duty, it's so unique and clever and funny, and you just can't believe that they're pulling it off. And as you pointed out, at the end of the season, there's a big reveal episode. So you kind of find out how this all went. You see where the cameras were and how, they executed it, and it was fascinating. I mean, just to see that finale and that reveal was so fun, and we'll get to do it here. So I'm glad that they're doing this. I hope they can have fun with it again. I'm looking forward to it. Do you have anything else new streaming this weekend?
Yeah, over on Apple TV Plus, we have a new series called Imperfect Women, and where I didn't like Scarpetta a whole lot when it came to Prime, I really liked Imperfect Women. At least what I've seen so far. I've seen only a couple episodes. This has got all the mystery and the intrigue and the drama. Kerry Washington is our lead here. She plays a woman, and 2 of her best friends, played by Elizabeth Moss and Kate Mara. Well, one of them ends up meets an unfortunate consequence, let's just say. And the rest of the story tells in flashback and in current kind of how that came to be and who's the suspects and all the good stuff. I like them. It's a sexy thriller that I think will do very well over on Apple TV Plus. That launches this week, and I started watching something that we can talk about in 2 weeks. Mark, here's some keys for you. Our favorite show, I think, last year, you and I would both agree, with John Hamm, comes back. April 3rd.
All your friends and neighbors. I loved it. By the way, on your recommendation, I'm a couple of weeks late. I started Paradise. The first episode of the second season of Paradise, outstanding. So I can't wait to see what they do. Sophomore seasons are really, really tough.
Yeah.
And I was impressed with that first one. So I haven't gotten any further than that, but I'm looking forward to doing that. Anything else you want to mention this weekend? We did have a pretty significant celebrity death. Chuck Norris passed away.
Oh, I forgot to mention that.
That's one of those ones that, let's be honest, the memes are out there. He was never going to die. How did he die? How is he going to get taken away? He can't get taken away. He's Chuck Norris. He can live through anything. Not this time, unfortunately. Chuck Norris passed away. And, he reminds you back to those films. I remember him a lot from those films in the 80s and the early 90s that were all about the military, all about fighting back, all about going into battle. Things that I think we've forgotten a lot about at this point in time. It'd be good to go back and check some of those out. Chuck Norris, unfortunately, has left us, but, we move on forward. New streaming also, I should mention, Wicked for Good, for those of you who have been waiting for it to show up. It's on Peacock, as well as a whole bunch of extras. And Zootopia 2 is now on Disney Plus for everybody to see.
I watched it. I watched it with my daughter. I had missed it, and I liked it. I didn't love it. Speaking of sophomore issues, I loved the first Zootopia. But you know what? It made me laugh. It kept my interest. I really liked it. So that's out there for rental. Look, I will just say this, and I think you would agree. Some of the best entertainment out there this weekend is going to be on CBS and its properties with the NCAA tournament. We had a hell of a game here in St. Louis earlier in a barn burner that went down to the last seconds of overtime. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we have, I didn't mention this. This is something because I know Paul's a football fan. We're all football fans. Ethan, have you heard this, Sue? They are closing down the Pittsburgh public schools for 3 days. They're doing remote learning because of the NFL draft.
Oh my
So these kids are already behind because of COVID. Let's send them back to home and do remote learning because the draft is in Pittsburgh. That is getting a lot of reaction out there. That's kind of stunning. Had you heard that, Paul?
I had not heard that, but I can tell you when it was up in Green Bay, there was a lot of closures as well, with everything kind of taking over the town. Green Bay, obviously, a much smaller town than Pittsburgh.
Yeah, interesting. All right, hey, tell folks where they can find your reviews.
CommonGuy.com.
We'll talk next Friday at our Fish Fry finale. Thank you. Frank Cusumano's in Buffalo. A preview of the next SLU game because they blew out their opponent last night. We're coming back with more at Queen of All Saints on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got a serious jam if you're headed into Illinois. And it's on 6440 near Jefferson across the bridge. That has jammed up volume on northbound 55, which is back onto 44. We've got eastbound 70 slowing at 64. And that, of course, due to road work, and it's coming off the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge. 70 westbound isn't bad. In fact, it's pretty well fine until you get out Lake St. Louis Boulevard through Wentzville, slow in pockets. Eastbound slowing headed for Wentzville. And westbound 40, we've got an accident reported past Hampton. Look for a delay back through Kings Highway. And then things open up and don't slow again until Highway N out through the 70 split. I'm sorry, just heard Kenny Wallace laugh, and I love his laugh. Northbound 270, slowing at Ladue Road, and 55. Just a little bit of volume, or especially at Z. Then we had an accident reported, this one just coming in, kind of by Hillsborough Road, north of Festus, so north of Highway A. Add some volume there. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This month, 97.1 FM Talk in Action spotlights Helmets First, a nonprofit promoting kid safety through free bike helmets, education, and partnerships with local police. Officers help fit helmets and connect with kids in the community. Learn how you can help at helmetsfirst.com.
It's not pleasant to hear it, but Missouri is falling behind in its spending of state tax dollars, education, and health care. But there are ways to get Missouri moving forward again and produce a better life for all of us. That's why we at the Show Me Institute put together a 2026 Missouri Blueprint, a roadmap on how the state can move to a brighter future. The blueprint covers policy ideas from taxes to government transparency, from education to healthcare and budget reform. Let's allow students to attend the school of their choice. Let's adopt new proven methods to help the many school kids who can barely read. Let's limit state spending growth for Missouri's long-term financial stability. And let's invest in future needs with more nuclear energy. Why not common sense reforms to make things better for all Missourians? Check out our 2026 Missouri Blueprint, moving Missouri forward at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Hey, St. Louis, need to sell your home fast? The Gelman team with eXp Realty can make you an instant cash offer in just 24 hours. No showings, no repairs, no waiting, no drama. Visit thegelmanteam.com to see what your home could sell for fast. Or give the Gelman team a call at 314-336-1991.
License number GL2500615.
We've seen all kinds of clogs, so remember the rule. Only flush 3 things. Number 1, number 2, and toilet paper.
What about my dinosaurs?
No.
My monster truck?
Nope.
What about...
If it's not the big 3, don't flush it.
But if someone does flush a dinosaur...
Call Grasser. We clear the clog and get things moving again.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Mark Reardon is St. Louis conservative.
I think we're back. Are we back? Sometimes I can't tell because it's so loud in the room here this afternoon. We are live at Queen of All Saints, and I think the music is overpowering me right now. So Daniel, kind of pop that down. Thank you very much. I can't hear myself think sometimes. Do we have Frank Cusumano on the line from Buffalo? Because I don't have confirmation of that. Frank, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
How are you? And oh my goodness, what about last night? I don't even know how you put that into words. That was incredible.
Yeah, it was basketball perfection. And, you know, it's really cool because it's the most important game of the year, and the Billikens play their best game of the year. Mark, you would not believe, like, the joy in that locker room. But I asked 4 or 5 players, were they surprised? And they said, no, this is us being us. Then I asked Coach Schertz that question, and he said, well, when I looked up at the scoreboard and we were up 40 points with 5 minutes to go, yeah, I admit, I was surprised.
Frank, what exactly went right for them? Obviously, they were firing on all cylinders.
Outside of everything,
once we got to, a handful of minutes in. But what truly led to this beatdown that we saw last night in Buffalo?
Well, when they're looked upon, Ethan, as a 3-point shooting team. They set the Atlantic 10 conference record for most three-pointers made by a team in the history of that conference, 360. But what that does is Georgia had to go out on the shooters, and it left the middle of the court wide open. So SLU had 13 no-dribble layups in the first half.
Wow.
Think of the line of Deion Brown. He is a 6'3" guard. He scored 18 points, and all 18 were within 1 foot of the basket. They were layups or dunks. I venture to say no 6'3" guard has ever had an 18-point game in an NCAA tournament without shooting the ball outside 1 foot.
Yeah,
so
that's incredible.
The lane was wide open, and they, they're so unselfish, and they pass the ball great.
Georgia looked like Mizzou did when they're not playing well. I mean, they were just lost, completely lost.
Yeah, well, SLU can do that to you. And this is the SLU team we saw in December, January, and a big chunk into February. But they haven't been the same team since that, but last night they got it back.
All right, so, typically an 8-9 matchup does not result in an upset of the 1 seed in the next round. But, boy, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give them a legit shot at Michigan. How do you think the matchup plays out for them tomorrow?
Well, like on paper, I'm not thrilled about it because Michigan goes 6'9", 6'9", and 7'3" across the front line, and 2 of those guys will be draft picks. But this is not a series, Mark. It's 1 game.
That's right.
And for 2 hours tomorrow afternoon in Buffalo, New York, SLU could be the better team.
What about, did you see what happened here in St. Louis today, Frank, with Santa Clara and Kentucky? Goes to overtime. Santa Clara thinks they have it won with a big 3 with just a few seconds left. They're not celebrating necessarily, but then kid from Kentucky hits a half-court shot, goes into overtime. It stays close in overtime, but Kentucky survives that game. But it was one of the best of the tournament so far.
Yeah, and I'm so happy it happened in St. Louis, too. Santa Clara and Herb Sendek thought they were going to pull off one of the big upsets, and Mark Pope's job, just like Hubert Davis's job in North Carolina, would be in jeopardy with a first-round knockout with all the drama they've had all season. So that was one heck of a shot, and it survived and advanced, as Jim Valvano used to say.
Frank, a beat down for Illinois last night over the 14 seed Penn, and now they'll be tasked with facing off against the other A10 team that made it to the NCAA tournament in VCU. You've kept up with the A10 closely this year. What does Illinois need to do to make sure that they don't end up in the same spot that North Carolina was in last night?
VCU looked good last night.
Oh, they really did. And Phil Martelli Jr. is an unbelievable coach. It was the largest deficit overcome in a first-round NCAA tournament matchup ever at 19 points. Now, here's the thing, is if Illinois plays like they did last night, VCU can't beat them. And Illinois is a team that's gotten to that level, I'd say about 75 or 80% of the time, but they do have off games. So I think it's going to be a terrific matchup. But if Illinois plays their game, VCU can't beat them.
All right, so what do you think about tonight? Mizzou plays the second game at Enterprise right around 9:15. It might extend a little later to 9:30, so it could be a late night for some of us. It's a coin toss type of game with Miami. Our friend Kevin Wheeler, who works on the other side of the building at KMOX, even admitted he's a Miami guy. It could go either way, but I don't know, and Coach Gates kind of addressed this, I don't know that there's a huge home court advantage. The Mizzou fans will outnumber the Miami fans, but in a tournament like this, I don't know that matters, and that's what Coach Gates said yesterday, Frank.
Yeah, I'm not buying that. There's going to be a home court advantage tonight in St. Louis. Absolutely. Miami has the equivalent of Mark Mitchell. They have a 6'9" stud, too. I think Jaden Stone's really key for Mizzou because when he's on and he's electric, he's a difference maker for the team. He hasn't been the same player for a couple of weeks. So, again, it's a toss-up game. I will say this. Miami has played really well on the road, and it is a road game for Miami.
So, baseball is about to start. By the time we have our next Friday show, a week from now, we'll have one, in theory, in the books. Are we getting excited here about the regular season?
Well, I am. I know that it's not going to be a great season, but I think it's going to be a season that is going to be better than what the prognosticators are picking for the Cardinals to win 69 to 70 games. This pitching staff, and we can't draw too much from spring training, but they have a chance to be much better than they were last year. I'm just really concerned about Jordan Walker, who's striking out about 38% of the time, and who's really struggled in the spring. So I just hope there's a happy ending for Jordan Walker with the Cardinals, but I'm really, really worried.
Are you going to be back from Buffalo in time to do a show on Sunday night?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to, in fact, since it's a 12:10 game, I'm going to catch a 7:45 flight, spend the day at Enterprise watching, hopefully, Mizzou beat Purdue. So it's going to be basically basketball-centric, and we'll have the latest on SLU, Mizzou, and the regional in St. Louis.
It's going to be fun. Have fun tomorrow. Get that victory. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a lot better about SLU than I am Mizzou, so I hope I'm wrong about that, too. But enjoy the weekend. This is just an incredible sports time, Frank, and we appreciate it as always.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right, take care. That's Frank Cusumano. He'll join us on Monday afternoon as well. This is a fun weekend. And,
so much fun.
Next weekend, too, with baseball, and you get the second round with the Sweet 16, it's going to be awesome as well. I said this yesterday, Ethan. I know that not everyone's a sports fan, but, boy, I feel like you're depriving yourself of so much excitement, especially on a weekend like this.
And how nice is it, real quick, to have it back here? I mean, it's been several years since it's been 10 years in St. Louis, and it's ridiculous that St. Louis doesn't get the tournament. It's just ridiculous. So it's really nice to have it back here, to have commotion around the city, and to have a couple of big moments like that. Hopefully, it's a good advertisement for the area as well.
Let me tell you, and I'm just being honest here. If it wasn't for the Fish Fry Fridays, I probably would be at the arena and see these games. But I knew that I didn't want to miss these. I didn't want to take a Friday off. So if it was a Thursday, Saturday situation, I think I would have bought tickets. But
I get it.
We got Kenny Wallace on deck. We'll have Susan L. Ward, our great sponsor, come by at 5:30. I still have audio cut of the day. My daughter is out here actually today, and her friend who is our neighbor, Amanda, who works at a little radio station at Rockwood Summit. So we may put them on the air a little bit later as well. Sue's Bell is at
broken.
Times functioning,
it is
at
gone.
times not functioning.
Dunzo.
I'll just order one on Amazon this weekend. Just remind me, and I'll do that. Okay,
all right. I'll send you a text.
It can be like $12, right? Or something like
that's
that.
a good point.
But with
Fine.
inflation, it might be 24. We're coming back. We're live at Queen of All Saints. It's Fish Fry Fridays on the Mark Reardon Show. Kenny Wallace on deck.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Watch out for an accident eastbound 70 east of Warrenton. It's causing a jam back almost to Warrenton. Now, westbound traffic on 70 looks good. It's just a little bit slow at Wentzville. And eastbound 64 is jammed, headed for the Poplar. It's slow eastbound 70 coming off of the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge. And we've got 64 eastbound slowing at 157, that due to road work. Now, the jam headed for the Poplar has jammed up northbound 55, which is back onto 44. So be careful through there. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We are, I mentioned Kenny Wallace, he's standing by. We're going to get a visit from Susan L. Ward, who is a great sponsor, not only of my show, but of the entire station. And she's a lot of fun to talk about outside of what she does for a living. And what she does for a living could help you in a very, very tough time. Obviously, family practice means divorce, but it's well beyond that. In fact, they do things even related to domestic partnerships, domestic violence, which is very tough, post-divorce issues. So Susan can take care of you in any of those particular areas. She's very proud of the new office that they moved into last May, and you should go see her if you need her help. And what she's going to probably tell you at 5:30 tonight when she's on the air is, if you think you need her help, don't put that call off. There's a confidential consultation form on the website. You want to make sure that you reach out because you might make mistakes that can haunt you in the future. Don't do that. Get with Susan. Call 783-9400, 314-783-9400. The website, stlfamilylaw.com. The focus on family law, the emphasis on you, Susan L. Ward.
Triton Exteriors, St. Louis Roofing, Siding, and Gutter Systems. We'll take care of you and your home. We're #1 in the Ladue, Kirkwood, and Webster area. James Hardy certified. Visit triton.stl.com to be connected with a James Hardy expert and receive a free estimate. Triton-stl.com or call 314-717-1159. That's 314-717-1159. Triton Exteriors, St. Louis #1 James Hardy specialists.
Does heart disease run in your family? Give yourself peace of mind with our cardiac MRI bundles at Specialty MRI. Personalized scans designed to give you clear, meaningful answers. No long waiting rooms. Scan today for a peace of mind tomorrow. Call us at 636-591-1288. That's 636-591-1288.
Brian Kilmeade is coming back to St. Louis for one night in November. Just listen to the Mark Cox Morning Show, the Annie Fry Show, and the Mark Reardon Show like you usually do. But pay attention for us to tell you when to call to win free tickets.
St. Louis, laugh it up with Jimmy Fallon live at the Factory on Saturday, April 11th. From national radio to sold-out comedy clubs, Jimmy delivers fast, fearless stand-up that hits home.
The only ones raising tough kids anymore. The redneck babies are going to take on ISIS. The hipster babies are going to battle the evil forces of gluten. You know what I'm saying?
Grab your friends and get ready for a night of laughs. One show, one night only. Don't miss Jimmy Fallon, April 11th at the Factory. Get your tickets now at thefactorystl.com. That's thefactorystl.com.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Tax season is here, and Missouri families are already seeing the real impact of the Working Families Tax Cut Act. House Republicans are delivering real results for hardworking Missourians. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, the bill is projected to raise wages in Missouri by about $3,000 to $6,000 over the next 4 years. That's more money for groceries, gas, and greater security for your family's future. In Congress, I'm working to protect working families, strengthen our economy, and ensure you are keeping more of your hard-earned money.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Jimmy Fallon in the house, and I cannot wait to see you finally, April 11th. Although we're not calling it a redo because we never did the thing in the first place. You can't have a sequel if you don't have an original. Get your tickets at 971talk.com/events.
KFTK FM Florissant.
An Odyssey station.
President Trump posted on Truth Social a short time ago, even as the military prepares to send more troops to the region. Earlier, the president blasted our allies for not helping to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a vital waterway in the Iran action.
The U.S. military has largely defeated Iran's military, President Trump says, but operations are still needed to allow safe passage to the Strait of Hormuz.
It's a simple military maneuver. It's relatively safe, but you need a lot of help in the sense of you need ships.
The president labeled NATO allies paper tigers and cowards for not joining the U.S. military action to defend the strait. About 20% of global oil shipments travel the narrow waterway, a big reason for the spike in gas prices since the war was launched.
Fox's Sharon Halpern at the White House. This is one of America's closest allies has agreed to aid in the U.S.-led strikes on Iran.
The United Kingdom has agreed to let the U.S. use some of the bases for, quote, defensive operations aimed at degrading missile capabilities in Iran. Speaking of missile fire, we have had several rounds of missiles come here to the center of Israel today. Just about a half hour ago, we had another missile strike. It appears to have been a cluster bomb that is the most popular weapon fired at the center of Israel these days.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Tel Aviv. Federal prosecutors asked a judge to dismiss the charges against 2 Louisville police officers accused of falsifying the warrant that led police to raid Breonna Taylor's apartment the night that she was killed 6 years ago. A federal judge has sided with the New York Times and the Pentagon Press Association, which includes Fox News, blocking the Trump administration from enforcing a policy limiting reporters' access to the Pentagon, ruling key portions of the new rules are unlawful. America is listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-515-1771. That's 800-515-1771. 800-515-1771.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The spring season is officially underway starting mid-morning today. Lots of sunshine. Doesn't really feel like spring. Almost feels like summer. Early summer anyway. 84 for the high. Tonight, mostly clear. Nice evening as we drop back into the 70s. 53 for the low. Saturday, sunny and 81. Sunday, sunny, 85. Cooler, 59 for the high on Monday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This hour of the Mark Reardon Show is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Call Gamma Tree Experts. This is the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
I'm just sitting out here at Queen of All Saints catching up with Kenny Wallace.
I love it.
Right across from us right now. Sue Thomas, Fred's here, Ethan, Brian Doherty doing the controls, and Daniel's back in the studio. Kenny has brought the family here. Kim's here. We'd really rather talk to Kim, I think. But how are you?
Man, I am doing so good, and I'm smiling from ear to ear because, you know, this is, I mean, I know it's all over the world, but this is so St. Louis,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
My wife's family, they are hardcore, you know, they worship the Lord. And when I met Kim, every house I went into had a cross with a palm.
Wow.
And we love the Lord, so they represent Lent.
That's really nice.
How long have you been back now in St. Louis? You moved when?
You know, born in the city of St. Louis, grew up in Rolla from 63 to 70, and then went all the way through school here. But I was gone 27 years.
In North Carolina,
yeah,
right?
for my
27 years?
Yeah, for my NASCAR racing career. But we came back here 2000, well, actually, it's in the concrete of our swimming pool. Because with the dates, we put our first grandbaby's feet.
Oh, how cute
and
is that?
It's like September 2016 is when we started living in our home back here.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Kenny,
and that was funny because, go ahead, Sue.
I was going to say, what made you come back? I mean, St. Louis is hard to leave, right?
Yeah, Sue, first, before we go on, can you recognize?
Okay. Kenny Wallace is wearing the Sue's News T-shirt, which I love
Very
so much.
limited edition Sue's News T-shirt.
I love it so much that I actually took a picture of the back that said, brought to you by Sue, and sent it to my husband who sent it to you, and he was like, yay!
But you know what he just told me? He says he doesn't have my show shirt, which I find that very hard to believe.
Maybe your wife sent him that.
I did.
she
Yeah,
sent
right.
him
Well,
this
Becky
one.
was in charge of sending you that shirt originally, and it magically vanished. So I don't know whether to blame her or USPS, but we did originally have a shirt for you that's somewhere out there. We don't know where. It might be, in Iran at this point, right?
Be. I love you too. I love both of you very much. Go ahead, Sue. What'd you ask me?
What brought you back to St. Louis? Because St. Louis is hard to leave.
We were always going to come back to St. Louis because I know this is going to sound strange, but it neutralizes me. In other words, when I went to North Carolina, it's all about competition.
Oh.
And there's Father John, when we went to pre-Cana class, Kim, what was the name of that church? St. David's, right? Yeah, so we're at St. David's, and we're
Pre-Cana is what you do, before you get married. You have to consult with the priest, right?
You know everything.
I'm a Lutheran. I'm just trying to keep
I'm
the
a Lutheran
audience.
too.
Right. Yeah, Fred is too.
Lutherans.
We're Lutherans. Team together. But you had to do that with the Catholics, right?
Yeah, so Father John said, what are you going to do when you grow up? Because we're like,
yeah.
We got married at like 22.
Oh, gosh.
And it's been awesome, though. So Father John said, be careful, young man. Competition will kill you. Because I told him I was going to be a race car driver.
Interesting.
And racing in any type of competition. I mean, even if you go to Hollywood, if you go to Nashville, that's all very toxic. It just is.
What did you
I've
think?
never really thought of it that way, but because it consumes your life. Is that why?
Yes, Nashville consumes your life because it's party central and it's all just music, and then the same thing with Hollywood or wherever you live your work can be very toxic.
I believe that, which is why I'm a firm believer
I know it.
in doing things
Well,
outside
boy,
of
no
work,
kidding.
right?
What did you think when you were 22 and you heard that? What did you think, Kenny? Were you like, I wonder if that's true, or did you believe it, or did you find out later?
Sue, I found out later, but it just stuck right in my head.
Yeah.
There's some things in life that happen and you just never forget it.
Yep.
And when I started racing at the highest level of motorsports, which is NASCAR, and I'm racing Dale Earnhardt Sr., Jeff Gordon, my brother Rusty.
Gosh.
And and I'm running 15th out of 43 cars, and people are going, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I run 15th."
Yeah, exactly.
And they make you feel like you're not worthy, you're not good enough. And we see this with some baseball Cardinal interviews where the wives say, "My husband lives his whole life through his batting average."
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Well, just a quick story. I remember telling this story about Mike Schilt. When Mike Schilt was here as the manager, we got to know him a little bit. He came in, and, every once in a while, you're a good example because you have interests far outside of the world that you lived in for so often, right? But I was asking Mike Schilt kind of a basic get-to-know-you question. So what do you do when you're not doing baseball? He didn't have an answer.
Whoa.
Like, that consumed him, everything he did, which is what makes some people so good. But, I kind of felt sad that he didn't seem to see movies and he didn't seem to have hobbies or anything like that.
So I used to be like that.
Yeah.
And I was like that. But, and I know everything I say is a little provocative, but ever since I was in racing, I loved massages.
Yeah.
I like candles burning.
Yeah.
I like serenity. I have no problems going to sleep. So I'm into, philosophy.
Yeah.
I love life. And I was consumed with that, but I always had interest in everything in life. And I feel bad that you said that about Mike. I really liked him. I wish that could have worked out. But yeah, there's so much more to life. And I study life. And I talk to you about it all the time.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I have a lot of good friends that we philosophize, and it really helps us.
Well, and I've said this before publicly and privately, but I depend on you for positivity when I know that I don't have any. And when I was in the depths of my mental health crisis last summer, you were one of the people that I called, and you reacted immediately and got on the phone with the Mayo Clinic, and you were doing some investigation.
I did.
That's really nice.
And I knew you would do that because you're a dear friend, but you're also someone who always presents positivity. I know, and we had John O'Leary on last week, and he's a great story. I know that even people like you and John O'Leary get pissed off and get angry sometimes.
I know him,
but I know you do, but I never see that. Like, I never feel the negative energy from a guy like you. You're always positive. Kim might argue with me on that, right?
Here's the deal with me. I can be mean, and I know how to be mean.
Yeah.
And I know how to tell you. You probably saw a lot of it on the social media site X about 2 years ago when we were going through the election.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and COVID. And so then what happened was I started going to bed and I was thinking about it. And so I self-diagnosed myself. I said, okay, I got to stop this.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I was able to do it. I don't like addiction. So I can, turn off anything that I think is addictive. I'm like, oh, nope, not going to do that anymore. I'm getting addicted to it. So I know everything that's going on in politics, but I just don't react to it anymore.
There you go.
I mean, I know it all, right? And I just so badly.
But you have to hold back. Yeah.
For me. For
your mental health.
It's self-perseverance. I got to persevere through this politics by calming down.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's not easy. It's not easy this time, is it? This time in the world. Kenny Wallace is hanging out with us. All right, so we love talking to you about your travel, because one thing that's interesting is when you're on the road, you're posting pictures and you're doing stuff on social media. I did not know this, and this makes it even more special, and we're honored that you came out to visit with us, because you're leaving for Greece tomorrow, right?
I am.
So have you been?
No.
Okay,
I'm so
I was there a
excited.
year ago.
So last year I went to Europe. We landed at London Heathrow Airport. We went down to Rome. And Rome was, I always tell everybody, I'm still Kenny, but it changed me.
Really?
Going through that Vatican.
Yeah.
And then, going to St. Peter Basilica.
Mm-hmm.
And going to the Roman Colosseum, the Forum, the Pantheon.
All that history.
Oh, my gosh. And getting on the Italo train and going up to Venice.
Yes.
And then going to Berlin and seeing where Hitler did all that atrocity, and just, I could feel the weight. Checkpoint Charlie. We did a lot.
You drove on the Autobahn? Right?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
how fast did you go, Kenny?
158 mile an hour.
There you go.
And it was enough.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, we're not doing that no more. Yeah.
That's interesting that you had that reaction.
Well, when you race, you're in a contained course.
Yes.
You got a roll cage around you. When I race, I got everything safe as I can make it.
Right. Yeah.
When you get in a passenger car and you hit about 160 going down the Autobahn, you come outside of Frankfurt and you get about 40 miles outside of town. It's not a free-for-all.
Yeah.
It's about $10,000 to get a license in Germany.
Oh.
And
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Google that, Fred. But what does it cost to get a driver's license in Germany? I hear it's around 10 grand, and what that does, that keeps out all the riffraff.
Yeah, it does.
We should do that here.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, people want to
start the process.
And this, don't get me going on Interstate 55.
I'm not right.
They've been working on that damn highway for
32 years.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, like the lady on the ship. I've been on this highway for 32 years.
It really is unbelievable. And you know what else? Even just quickly, you know what's even more unbelievable? And you weren't living there at the time. I was living in right off Richardson Road down there in Jeffco when they redid all those lanes of 55 30 years ago. Remember, they did the wide lanes. They did that project in like a year, and this has taken years.
32 years.
Right, exactly. Okay, you're the boss. You want to read what?
Well, I got the glasses on.
What did Fred find? I've got mine on.
Fred has Googled this.
I don't know what that is. That's euros.
The average cost of obtaining a driver's license in Germany is $3,300.
Wow.
So, but that's expensive.
I was only off $8,000.
That's well, 6 if it's 3.
Hey,
but
that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Imagine how many kids would not get a driver's license here in America.
A lot.
And that cuts out all the riffraff.
It does.
Because over here,
yeah, boy, I might pay $10,000 just to have my daughter get that license, because then I don't have to drive her everywhere. So there is that. Parents experience that as well. You probably got off on that deal a little bit, but Greece, you're going to love Greece. It's really. Are you going to the islands too, or just to Athens?
So no, we're going to the islands too. We're going to stay over there quite a while. We're going to be gone for 12 days.
That's nice.
And then you can text me. So in the morning, I'm flying up to Chicago O'Hare.
Okay.
I'm going to hang out, there for a little bit, wait on my buddy.
Wait, are you ditching Kim on this trip too?
Well, she doesn't like to go over there.
You need to interview her.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! So you're going solo with a friend?
Kim's afraid of terrorism.
You've told us that,
yeah.
right?
So John Scottoni is a good friend of mine, but he's a real Italian. Scottoni.
Oh boy.
We're going to see his family in Sicily.
That's awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Are you?
I can't wait to talk to you after this trip.
Yeah, no kidding. Are you going to Santorini, the beautiful white buildings?
I want to. So
I'm
bad.
dying to see a picture there.
I watched a 30 30-minute video today on my couch just getting ready.
It's beautiful. It's some of the areas are stunning. But I will tell you this, and I think I told you this a few weeks ago. You are going to be absolutely disgusted in Athens when you see the graffiti. It's everywhere. And when I say everywhere, it is everywhere on every building. And not on the historic sites, of course. They keep it off of that. I was told that the mayor of Athens tried to give, because, Kenny, they're artists, right? They tried to give them a certain portion of the town. It's unreal. And this does occur a little bit on the islands, but on Athens, I've never seen as much graffiti in my entire life. And it's so sad to have a city like that with all the graffiti. So you'll notice that right away.
Well, it was disappointing to me when my friend challenged me. I didn't know what I was getting into. So we're at St. Peter Basilica, like the greatest church in the world. And I said, what are we doing? He goes, we're going all the way up. So we went all the way to the very, very top.
Oh, and I got allowed to do that.
I got great pictures overlooking, the Vatican Square there.
Sure.
Beautiful pictures.
Wow.
And I mean, you go all the way to the top, and there's graffiti like they tried. And you got to be athletic.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but I did watch the videos this morning of Athens, Greece. And you're right, that man said that. He said very disappointed with.
But so the history, as you know, just in Europe. One thing, and I've told this story a couple of times since coming back from Greece. We had an extra day in Athens because the winds were whipping up too crazy to be out on the ships to go to the islands. So and I can't remember what park we were at, but we had a tour guide with us, and he was showing us some significant parts of Athens. And there was a wall that was across the street, and I think there were apartment buildings up, top. But there was this big wall that had all these indentations on it. And what it was, and they've left this there for a reason, is when the Nazis were there, and if you would take out someone with the SS, they would take out, I don't know how many civilians because of that, but they would line up these civilians in front of this building and just kill them. And you still see the bullet marks to this day from that piece of history to remind folks how horrific that was.
Yeah, they're doing that in Iran right now.
Well, yeah, right, exactly.
Well, they are.
Meaning shooting people like that. Yes, they are. They executed somebody today.
Instilling fear. That wrestler.
They hung people today in Iran. That was one of the stories that came out of there. So you're going to have a great trip to Greece.
You see that? We was getting ready to get off the highway just then.
Yeah, you were. I saw it. Come back.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen.
We got way too serious there. I brought it all down with the Nazi stuff. That's my fault.
Yeah, but I was ready. I was ready to go. Do not get me my radio show.
But my point there is also, look, when you go to the Parthenon and you see some of these things, you're just going to be blown away. Because the other thing about it is, and they claim that this was not built with slaves. When you see what they've done and how they built all this stuff, and in the time period, you're like, wait, how? It's like a miracle.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I want to go is because some of my friends that are not worldly, I love them, but they're not worldly.
Right.
Going over to Illinois is fine with them. He's like, I went across the JB Bridge. I love life, and when I go over there, I listen to Rick Steves' Audio Europe, and I put it right. It's kind of the cheap man's way,
Oh, that's good though.
But I love it.
Right.
And so it's so old over there, and the stuff still stands.
Yes.
And they didn't use any mortar to glue things together. Like, the Colosseum over there in Rome, they just put it together without any glue.
It's incredible. It really is.
This is why I want to go to Egypt, right? The pyramids and all of that. I want a friend of mine is there now. He's sending these photos that are, it's stunning.
Well, that was the aliens.
And
clearly it was the aliens that built the pyramids. Come on.
I didn't think about that.
Sue, a great race car driver who's a dear friend of mine, Kenny Schrader.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny's
Schrader.
out. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Schrader. It's kind of it's not a joke, but Schrader's last name is so legendary. It's just like Schrader.
Yeah.
You call Ozzy Smith.
Oh, I know his name.
Yeah, you use Ozzy.
Yes.
There's some people that their last names, and it's not Kenny, it's Schrader.
Yeah.
So it's funny. His best friends go, Schrader! But his wife, Ann, was scheduled to be in Egypt right now. Well, they canceled it.
Why?
Until March. Well, it's right next to the Gaza Strip.
War going on right now, right? Yeah.
Okay, you bring up a good point.
Yeah. So anyway,
you're going to be right near Turkey if you're in Greece, and that's not the best place to be either. Don't tell Kim that.
She's talking to Fred. She won't notice.
In ending, I'm laughing.
In closing.
She said to me, now you're away from all that stuff going on. I said, oh, yeah, I'm away from it.
You'll be fine. Yes, you will.
But in ending, I told you Athens, Greece, the islands, Sicily, Florence, back to Rome, to have some pizza or whatever. But then we're going to fly back up to Frankfurt because in auto racing, which I love auto racing, the most famous road course in the world is Nuremberg Ring.
You're going to Nuremberg?
Ring.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
So Nuremberg was where Hitler had all his propaganda machine, but add the word ring onto it. Nuremberg Ring, or Nuremberg Ring, that is the most famous road course, and it is...
How did that happen after the war?
I guess. I'm not sure. Fred,
you're going to find out. You're going to find out, though, right?
Yeah, so you can rent different cars, but they tell me rent the cheapest one. It's still a sports car.
Yeah.
And you pay and you go around the racetrack. And I told my wife, don't worry, honey, I'm not going to set a closed course record. I just want to go around it.
That'd be fun.
They don't race there anymore because it's so fast, it's presumed too dangerous.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Formula One doesn't race there anymore.
No, but when you were in Germany last, though, did you go to a concentration camp or not?
No, I didn't.
Will you go to? Because look, that is I've heard that's just an overwhelming experience.
I have some friends that went, and Tim Duggar, who is a good country western singer, good friend of mine, and then Kim's got some friends. I know two people that have gone to Auschwitz, and they said you just feel it.
Yeah.
So you don't even got to touch. I don't know if I want to do that.
I know.
To myself.
I get it. I do. I really get it.
I know all about it, but I don't know if I want to do that to myself.
I understand that.
Yeah, it's a tough.
I have
deal,
limitations.
for sure.
I know about it. I don't need to feel it. I know about it, but I feel bad for everybody.
Yeah.
It's just god awful.
Well, there again, we close on such a positive
Okay,
note,
well,
Kenny. Thank you very much.
let me tell you this.
Well, let's have a good laugh about life.
The Nuremberg Ring was built in the 20s. A long part of it was, and then in 1984 they built the Grand Prix racetrack part of it.
That's
so
good
a
stuff.
little bit of each.
I'm really glad you told me that because
Yeah.
I had a friend just say, "Are you going to do the long course?"
Yeah.
And then we do a show called Herman Schrader on Mondays.
Schrader.
Yeah, Dirty Mo Media, Dale Jr.'s deal. But,
which is so cool.
Yeah, we got a guy on there, kind of like a Fred. And Fred, Fred's awesome. And so is this guy named Alan Dietz. And he says, he's country. And he goes, Herman, you going to do the long course? Schrader's like, that's only in Monza or something like that. So you just helped a little bit.
You're
there.
going to come off educated. You're going to know this, right? Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. We got a couple other people. I want to squeeze my daughter in here.
Yeah.
She'll be mad at me as well.
He's a
Kenny
sweetheart.
Wallace, I can't believe you don't have one of my show shirts. We're going to correct that.
Yes.
You look great in the Sue's new shirt.
Yay.
And we do look forward to you. You'll do a fair amount of stuff on X, formerly Twitter, when you're over there, right? Posting pictures and stuff.
I will,
please.
Or on
it'll be
Instagram.
all pictures. And we're like 9 hours ahead over there. So, like,
We'll wake you up in the middle of the night. Don't worry. We'll
I'll
call
be-
you. Fred will call you.
I'll be going to bed posting, and you guys will be getting up.
Right. But that's okay.
Works good.
Yes. Hey, awesome. We love you. You know that. Thanks
Yes.
for bringing the family. You got not only Kim, but some other family members out here,
And I
right?
just want to let everybody know I do love the Lord very much, and I don't want to overlook what's coming up. Easter's an awesome time of the year. Kim, boy, if our kids don't show up for Easter, it's not good.
Are you going back to the Vatican this trip or not?
Yes,
Well,
yes.
but why would you not have an audience with Pope Leo? He's a baseball fan. He's
Yeah.
from the Midwest. He lived here in St. Louis. Couldn't you get right in? Come on.
I'm going to tell you something. Going to Rome is the greatest experience of my life.
Wow.
You liked it that much.
You feel it, man.
Yeah.
It's all happening.
I've been there. I love it.
Right?
I've been there. It
But
was
you're going to
nice.
Florence is really a cool little place too.
I like
I haven't been to
Florence.
Oh, you'll like
yet.
it. Oh, you'll
We're
love
gonna rent
Florence.
a car.
Yeah, Florence is a little, it's smaller. You get your arms around, but
It's
I'm
nice.
going to send you a text. There's a beautiful place that overlooks the city of Florence where you grab a little lunch or a bottle of wine up there.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. I'm going to
It's
get you that
awesome.
recommendation. It's really cool.
I want to say this before you run me off. America is the greatest land on earth, but there's something about seeing where it all started.
Of course there is.
Right?
God bless you, Kenny Wallace. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We got to take a break. We're coming back live. Queen of All Saints Fish Fry Fridays on the Mark Reardon Show.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got a jam if you're headed into Illinois on eastbound 6440. It's from about Jefferson across the bridge. Also slow coming off the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge. And that's due to road work. 44 and 55 are slow headed for the Poplar. But really, we're in pretty good shape. If you're westbound on 70, it's just a little slow out at Wentzville. Eastbound, though, we had an accident east of Warrenton that created a jam. 6440 is a little slow at Clayton Skinker and out at 70, but that's it. Other than that, we look good. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call us now. $30 billion was set aside for meso victims, and in most cases, your claim is settled out of court without a jury trial. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
Mark Reardon, Sue Thomas. This is The Mark Reardon Show.
Hey, we are live. It's Fish Fry Fridays. We're at Queen of All Saints having a great time. Susan L. Ward is here. She's going to visit with us. It was awesome to see Kenny Wallace out here.
He's awesome.
He's hanging with the family. He brought family members. I brought a family member, the big troublemaker of my family, Alexa Reardon, who is not happy because Jane is not part of the Friday show anymore.
Oh, sorry about that.
Because you and Jane hang pretty well, don't you? But you know, she took her, get real close to that mic, babe, because you got to be on top of it. But Jane took a job with the Attorney General, so she's actually working for a living, which she hasn't done in a long time. Usually she just flaps her mouth a lot, blah, 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 blah. But now she's getting paid to do something that's real. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
But she did say, I sent her a picture today, Sue, and she goes, tell that little girl we'll go shopping soon, because you and Jane, I think, should do some shopping, right?
Yeah.
All right, so would you like to introduce our friend who's sitting next to you today? Your friend?
Yeah, so this is my neighbor, Amanda.
Amanda Mertens, who lives next door, who has hung with Alexa for a long time, and they do some sports together. But what's cool is, Sue, Amanda works at the radio station at Rockwood Summit. I didn't even know they had a station, but they do,
really,
right?
What do you do there, and what kind of format is it?
So our radio station, it's one of 2 in Missouri, the other being Rittner, I think. And we're school-led, student-led, so our publication is really cool actually because we're student-led. So we have an advisor who you guys kind of know. You know Matt Pajeski, our advisor, is the sister.
On KMOX,
How cute is that?
And he went to Summit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. And then another connection, Hannah Gibbs, who worked with 97.1, is now on the morning show on Y98. She also went to Summit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many alumni from KFTN, which is our radio station. And we have an advisor who was Grace Pajeski's sister of Matt Pajeski. And she kind of makes sure everything is running good, but it's student-led. So we have station managers. I'm one of them. Me and another person, Mia, are our co-station managers, and it's a student-led thing, so we kind of get to we create a lot of music shows, a lot of live shows. We go live. We do a lot of sports. We do news every Friday, just kind of a recap of the week, national, local, weather, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's really cool. It's like a real radio station, and it's funny because a lot of the stuff I see around here is very similar to the stuff we have, just obviously a lot less of it because it's a school. So, yeah.
But this is, it really parallels what I did when I was exactly your age. I worked at this little YMCA run station, but it was student run. We had like a manager who was supposed to be the supervisor, but we did everything. I was the music director, and you know why I was the music director? Because I made myself the music director. I took that upon myself.
Yeah.
Now, Amanda's really into sports. I've talked about her on the air before because she's a really good softball player. And when I am in my basement, you know what I hear on a regular basis?
Do tell.
The crack of the bat from her doing batting practice.
Love that.
And she has such dedication, and it's impressive. It really is. But you're kind of maybe going down the line if broadcasting becomes a thing of sports broadcasting.
Yes,
sports
that is
person,
something,
right?
honestly, with KFTN, like what I'm doing at the school, I've gotten really into the radio, and it's really been fun for me. And we do a lot of like play-by-plays at the school too, where we get to commentate the games. And that was just something that I was like, I love this, and I want to do this.
Well, I'm a big fan of
great.
going, down the line of following your passions, and if that's what you love to do, you got to do it. Alexa Reardon's got a lot of radio experience, so she can give you some advice, right? It's funny because she just turned 11, as you know, Amanda, and she's been on the air with me ever since she was little, but she was really shy. But lately, you've been a little bit more open. You seem shy today, though. Why are you so shy today?
I don't know.
Yeah, mainly because what I told her before we went on the air is don't act like a crazy person, which is Amanda knows she's really good at, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how has your spring break been, especially hanging with your dad? Wasn't
good.
Monday and Tuesday your favorite time of the week?
Well, I liked learning racquetball with
Well,
you
we
and
played
stuff.
racquetball,
That's good.
right? And we went twice to the MAC, and she got to learn the game a little bit. We're going to see if we can play some pickleball, maybe even this weekend. It would be fun. We got to get out on the bikes too, though, babe, right? Because it's nice out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Amanda, thank you for hanging with Alexa, because Amanda helps out with Alexa and keeps her occupied, which we appreciate.
Yes.
And then I got to come over and see the station sometime. I've never even seen
you definitely
it.
have to.
So it's KFTN 92.7
Yep.
FM. We are on 97.1 FM, I think, right?
Yes,
Boy, I
sir.
almost got confused. And we're coming back with more from Fish Fry Fridays at Queen of All Saints. Hang in there.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got light traffic. This was a big spring break week, and if you're westbound on 70, just a little slow at Wentzville. 64, just a little slow at Clayton Skinker, and then it opens up. Now, there is some volume if you are eastbound on 6440 headed into Illinois and on the Poplar Street Bridge, and that has backed up northbound 55 onto 44 headed for the bridge. But that's it. Now, eastbound 70, a little slow at 64. That due to road work. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Big trucks, big damage. And when you're the one left injured, you need someone who knows how to take on the trucking companies and win. You need Kaufman Townsley. Our attorneys live and work right here in St. Louis. We act fast, we dig deep, and we don't back down. Trucking accidents are serious, and so are we. Kaufman Townsley. Real people, real results. Call 314-777-7777.
Well, we have a great sponsor who's going to visit with us here in a couple of minutes, Susan L. Ward, but I want to talk about Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. This is such a no-brainer for you to get an estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. We've got storms that are rolling in during the spring that could knock out power. We had that terrible tornado last year. You need a generator. You've been thinking for a while that you need one. These are not portable. Maybe your neighbors have those that, they have to start and make a lot of noise. This is a piece of equipment that you're going to have for a long time. You're going to maintain it like you would your HVAC system, and Generator Supercenter of St. Louis is going to help you do that. They have a showroom in Chesterfield on the airport road, but don't wait for the next storm or outage or when the power grid fails, because that's happening too. Call Generator Supercenter now. It's a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator. Financing available, low monthly payments, 314-499-2020. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com.
There's no better way to upgrade your backyard than by calling my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck Company. Mark Cox here, locally owned and operated for 58 years now, and it is a sign you have the very best because they're so proud of what they do. They offer fences, of course, and decks, and sunrooms, and screen rooms, and patios, retaining walls, and so much more. Chesterfield Fence and Deck takes so much pride in what they do because they've done it for so many people. When they come over to your house,
They'll give you a free estimate, no obligation, free project design. They'll take out their digital photo gallery of completed projects and let you see what other people are doing, and then you can make it your own. When they do their work, they give you a 5-year labor warranty and a comprehensive material warranty, and they're highly rated with the Better Business Bureau, of course. Reach out to them today. Tell them you heard about it from Mark Cox. You're going to get 48 months interest-free financing on your next project. Go to chesterfieldfence.com.
Missouri's laws are clear. Unregulated gaming devices are illegal. Companies have been telling businesses that gray market machines are legal. That's wrong. Don't be scammed. If you have these devices at your business, you could be subject to criminal and civil penalties. Unplug and remove these devices today.
If you've been approached to host illegal gaming machines, call now 800-523-1434 or visit ago.mo.gov. Sponsored by the Attorney General's Office.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The time is 5:36. This time check is brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
From St. Peter's to Smithton, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sue, I feel like as the seconds tick away, our fish fry lives are coming to an end. We still have one more, but this is like the last half hour of this one at Queen of All Saints, and we've been rocking this one out. We've had a lot of people come by saying hi. Kenny Wallace was here, my daughter, as I mentioned, and Susan O'Ward is
We
here.
love
Great
Susan
sponsor.
O'Ward.
We love
Thank
Susan.
you. I'm
You've been
so
out here with
happy.
us before, not
I
at
have.
this one, but at a fish fry.
Yep.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
Get real close because it's loud.
Real
Get
close.
Real close to that microphone, or
Okay.
the audience will not be able to hear any of us. Yeah, we were just catching up a little bit off the air to find out how you were doing, and I mention all the time you have a brand new office, maybe not as brand new as it was 9 months ago, but you moved in like last May, right?
Right, exactly. That's
and
exactly when.
that's in De Pere. And shamefully, I've not been over there, but I have to check that out.
Got to come visit.
Right on Manchester Road.
Right on Manchester Road, on the north side, when you a half mile off 270. It's so accessible.
It's a good location over there, right?
Yeah.
Well, do you play racquetball? Because you can come over and play and probably beat me. Even if you don't play, you could probably beat me at the MAC.
My knees would not want to
Really?
play racquetball.
Are you playing pickleball at all? Do you ever play that?
No.
It's fun.
It is
fun.
Go to Orange
No.
Theory, lift weights.
Oh, well, that's
There
not
you go.
bad. You're still keeping...
doing something.
Right. Well, how's life overall? How's the, because this is not exactly the most joyous topic to talk about, like the end of a marriage or things like that.
But it happens.
It does
Right.
happen. And, I mentioned this, maybe I told you this too, but there were two people in the last year and a half that I kind of lost contact with a little bit. I'm like, I wonder what's going on. And it did not surprise me that both of them had been going through, the end of a marriage. And I always tell people, you're going to get through it, right?
Right.
It's going to come out, and you'll think it's another lifetime ago. But in the moment, it's not
in the
fun.
moment, right? It's a blender, and that's the easiest way to describe to someone. This is what you need to prepare for: is your life in a blender, because it's kids, it's house, it's money, it's support, it's everything at once, and it's a lot. And so, we really encourage people to get their support system on, whether that be, someone very close. I prefer the support system not be like a TV show that they're saying my show on TV says you should.
Right. Unless it's a radio show. This radio
therapists,
show would
things
be
like
an exception, right, though?
Right.
Yes. Other than that, though, we don't want to be doing that.
No, but get your support system in place. We're in the new season of tax refunds, which means retainer fees start up again. Spring breaks over. On we go. So we're busy. We're very busy.
And I've said this before, and Sue knows me well enough now. It's safe to say I have anger issues. So I'm type A.
Safe.
I don't remember being more angry than in that time in my life. I mean, just steam coming out of my ears, because part of it's just confusing to people, right?
Sure.
You don't know the process. You don't understand the process, at least for me. And I was relatively young at the time because it was 20 years ago, so it can be overwhelming.
It can be, and that's when I would encourage people to not get mad at their lawyer, but tell their lawyer, you do this every day. But Susan, at 34 years of practice, I need to be reminded that I do this every day, and I have a lot of assumptions, and I have a plan in my head, but if I don't convey it to you, we have to communicate. So I beg the clients, good, bad, or ugly, tell me
if I'm not answering questions or if you have questions, like don't just sit at home and wait for the phone to ring or the email to come. That's a bad practice.
Part of what she said about the new office is that you like that you have space because you do a lot of mediation. Talk about that.
I do. Mediation is great for people on a level playing field. It is a great way to pay one lawyer for people that want to conserve their own funds, because otherwise I'm making money for my kids, the other lawyer's making money for their kids or my trips or whatever. And if we can get people in to mediate, you have to, though, when I say level playing field, what that means is both spouses have to have an understanding of the business of their marriage and the assets and the liabilities and what it takes to run a house for a month and what the kids cost. And so it is a great process. I'm appointed by the court to mediate out of many of the metro courts because there's mandatory mediation in many
really?
counties.
Oh, that's interesting. What makes mediation mandatory?
The courts want you to go for 2 hours minimum and see if you can narrow the issues.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
Right. And then there's a thing called parent coordinating that the court can't appoint. It's not by statute, so it has to be by agreement as part of a divorce or a custody case. And a parent coordinator is essentially an arbitrator who has been trained under Supreme Court laws or Supreme Court rules, and it's a specialized training that I also have for that. And then two parents come in, they can't make big decisions under joint legal custody, and then I become the arbitrator without motions for contempt, without motions to wait for months and things like that.
Well, that makes sense, though.
It does make sense, and I think that, I don't know, I don't think that people know that that's an option, too. Like, if you had not gone through a divorce, I would have no idea how any of this worked. That's why I want to call somebody like Susan who knows what the heck
that's
to do.
It. Just call and have a consult if you're even thinking about it. My parents were married before my dad passed away a couple years ago. My parents were married 63 years. Okay, that's not... They wouldn't know nothing about nothing.
Yeah,
right? As we say.
Yeah.
And so whether you've been married 6 minutes or 60 years, you don't know what you're getting into. It's like I wouldn't try to work on my car. I would go ask a mechanic.
Exactly.
This is going to be a weird question, but I'm going to ask it. I'm rewatching Mad Men right now, which I love. And I think I'm at the end of the 4th season. But not to be a big spoiler, if you haven't seen Mad Men, there's a divorce that takes place. And when they were discussing, so this would have been early 60s, mid 60s, the time period, that when Betty wanted to divorce Don, it was very uncommon, right, and not socially acceptable. I think they had to go to Utah or something like that, or was there a location that people would go that more efficiently ended a marriage? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know, but as far as the social stigma or it being allowed, or there are still states that have probably Illinois just got rid of theirs, that have separation time. You have to be separated for so long before you're allowed to file or get a divorce. Or if you file for divorce, you have to stay separated an amount of time. It is...
and
we
those
call it archaic
those laws exist.
now.
They vary state to state.
Right.
Yeah, that's
it's
interesting.
It's all state driven. Yeah.
No, it just caught me off guard because there was. I think it was, maybe it's not Utah. That sounds weird that it would be there. But wherever they were going, maybe it was Nevada and Lake Tahoe. I'd have to think about it. You could basically annul the marriage quickly with one person doing it. So, but that's weird, isn't it? It's changed quite a bit.
Yeah, and things have changed where, Missouri is getting ready to try and pass a law that says that you can get divorced if you're pregnant. The law used to be that you cannot get divorced while you're pregnant. And so a lot of women's care groups and things like that and abuse groups and stuff have worked very hard to see if
That's hard for me to believe that that's still on the
Well,
books.
the way that you do it is essentially you would have to prove non-paternity by the husband.
Oh, interesting.
It's it's very complicated. Yeah.
How long does an average divorce take? I realize that people are going to be arguing and have issues, but is there an average time?
In St. Louis County, it's going to be about 8 to 12 months. In St. Charles County, you're talking 12 to 24 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the more west or south that you go, you're talking a lot longer. There are Supreme Court rules for St. Louis County because there are so many cases as to when they're supposed to be completed, unless there's good cause.
Yeah.
Really complicated, something going on. But you can say a year usually.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming out here. And by the way, I need to apologize because I was invited to your birthday party a little while back, and I wanted to make it, and I didn't make it. So happy birthday.
Thank you. It was a big one.
It's a number that I'm very familiar with and may share with you, and I'm about to add a 1 to that number, and I'm not celebrating anymore. Like, I was talking to my neighbor yesterday, and her son is turning, we have a little toddler next door, he turns 2, and her husband has a birthday next week. I said, yeah, my birthday's in about 3 weeks, but I am not celebrating those anymore, so do not acknowledge.
Well, what we said for mine was we will say this birthday and celebrate it, and we will never speak of it again.
Yeah, exactly. All right, there. So we're on the same page on that. Thank you, Susan. Great to see you. Thank you so much for coming out.
Yes.
Get some fish, have some fun. We're coming back. We have audio cut of the day. We are wrapping up. We got one more segment here. Queen of All Saints in Oakville. Fish Fry Friday, sponsored by Apache Village RV.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Hey, things look good on the roads. There's a delay downtown, but that's the worst of it. Headed into Illinois, there is a jam, and that starts near 20th Street to the bridge, and then coming off the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge, it's slowing at 64. But other than that, we look good. I mean, 64 out west is fine. It's just slow ramping onto westbound 70, and that's it. 270 is in great shape. So is 55. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Brian Kilmeade is coming back to St. Louis for one night in November. Just listen to the Mark Cox Morning Show, the Annie Fry Show, and the Mark Reardon Show like you usually do. But pay attention for us to tell you when to call to win free tickets.
If you live in Missouri, have Medicaid, and need a caregiver, this message is important. Care at home is personal. That's why you may not want a stranger in your home to take care of you. You want someone who already knows you and your daily routines. With Freedom Care, you choose a trusted family member, a friend, or a neighbor. They will get paid after every shift to care for you, and it's 100% free to you. More than 70,000 people have already joined the Freedom Care family. Call your local Freedom Care. They'll check your Medicaid eligibility. Don't wait until a stranger shows up at your door. If you have Medicaid and need help at home, this care is available 100% free to you. Call Freedom Care now to see if you qualify. 314-343-1362. 314-343-1362. That's 314-343-1362.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I think we're on now. Boy, for a moment there, I thought we were getting a little dead air. Fred and I are trying to work on audio cut of the day. Usually I have a little bit more access to the computers, and we have some options. And Daniel, just kind of stay tuned. I'll tell you what we're doing as soon as I know what I'm doing out here. But I want to point out, somebody brought by, there have been so many people that have come by and said hi. And
it's been nice.
It's great. It can be a little overwhelming because we're trying to do the show as well. But I was given this, and I think we all were given a paper bag that has a cookie in it, right?
Yes, we were, from Letha.
But this is interesting. Check this out. George Washington's gingerbread cookies. And it says, enclosed is a cookie made with a replica of a gingerbread mold belonging to the Museum of the American Revolution. The mold belonged to Christopher Ludwig. He was a German confectionery baker who volunteered for the Continental Army in 1776. He was assigned to bake and deliver all of the bread for the Continental Army. We also have vouchers from Washington to Ludwig for purchase of gingerbread cookies. Washington and Ludwig spent much time working together. Washington actually called Ludwig my honest friend. And Letha Misner?
Yeah, or
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Misner
says, I hope you enjoy this piece of American history. House on the Hill cookie molds, and this is what she does.
Yeah.
So I think you might even be able to go Google House on the Hill cookie molds, and you can find that out.
How
So that's
about
pretty
that?
cool. So it's a cookie and a mold in here. I haven't opened it yet.
I think
Sue.
it's just a. Ooh,
I can't
don't
hear
know.
Sue either. Is your mic on right now? Because I
can
cannot
hear
hear
me.
a word that you were saying. It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's where my ears have gone here this afternoon because I can't really
Right,
hear.
hold on. Did you
anything
have what's
outside
in
of
there,
myself.
Fred?
What's that?
I'm looking.
So we're opening
It's
our
like
molds
a
right now.
a nice,
right
like
on
a-
that mic, Fred.
a nice
you gotta get right. I cannot hear you
gingerbread-looking
guys.
cookie?
I'm just telling you right now.
Well,
I can't
you
hear a
gotta
word you're
turn
saying.
you up.
All right. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's fine. I can hear
Okay.
myself.
Oh.
But I need Fred to speak into the microphone.
He sounds fine to me.
yeah.
Like that. Let's
Okay.
try that way. That's going to work out better for me.
Okay.
So what is in there? Is it a cookie
It's a
and a mold?
Yeah, it's a cookie. Iced cookie. It looks great. It's like a, what shape would you say? Like a gingerbread sort of cookie?
Yeah, but it looks almost like a plant in a pot that they
Oh,
must
yeah.
have done like years ago. Oh, I'm so excited by this.
But I love the history to it, and
Yeah, that's
I keep
neat.
meaning to. Selena Zito told us this a couple of weeks ago that she's doing a daily column on the Revolutionary War. Like every day,
Oh,
she's
neat.
pumping out a little different piece of American history, and I love that. And I follow a couple of sites on Twitter that do this as well. Like there's a great one for World War II. And maybe there's a similar one for the Revolutionary War, where they actually go day by day.
Oh, there she
this
is.
date in history on what was happening in World War II, and it's an amazing site because it gives you really some interesting perspectives on what was happening back then. Okay, so she just brought us the mold.
Yeah, that's
and
so
the
cool.
mold is so cool. Ethan, have her grab the mic real
Letha.
quick so we can hear what this is all about. Would you mind sitting down with us, Letha, to tell us about this just a little bit? Kenny, we'll see you. We love you. Kenny Wallace is taking off. So get real close on that microphone and tell us
Okay.
about the mold here because this is incredible, right?
We were really excited to get to copy and replicate a mold from the Museum of the American Revolution. And this gingerbread baker who had this mold carved on both sides, he volunteered for the Continental Army in 1776. He was 56 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
56 and he
56
volunteered.
and he volunteered. They put him in charge of, George Washington put him in charge of baking all the bread for the Continental Army. And the Continental Congress sent him a letter and said, we will make you the Baker General, and for every 100 weight of flour, we want you to make 100 pounds of bread. Okay, there's something wrong with that.
I was going to say that's not going to work.
That's not right,
Uh-uh.
because when you add yeast and water to flour, it increases the weight.
Right.
And Christopher Ludwig wrote back to them and said, I refuse to take the commission under those circumstances. I will not make money on my country. He said, I will make 135 pounds of bread for every 100 weight of flour.
Wow.
So George Washington called him my honest friend.
Right.
So it's like, dear Lord, help me to be an honest friend and give me some honest friends. So it's pretty amazing. He and Washington were worked together, were friends. He was with Washington at Valley Forge.
Really?
He was a successful gingerbread baker. He sold some of his property in Philadelphia to pay the men who were helping him bake bread because the Continental Congress was always out of money.
Wow.
So how did you get a hold of the mold?
So I saw it on the internet, and then I fished down and found that it belonged to the Museum of the American Revolution, and I got a hold of them and talked with them, and they did want to replicate it for our centennial, our semi-quincentennial, because it's pretty cool.
It is.
It is.
It's
cool.
really
It's so
heavy, too.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's heavy. It surprised me how heavy.
So, and it's unique in that it's carved on both sides.
Right.
We replicated it here in the United States, and you can, I have a little cookie mold business. It's called House on the Hill Cookie Molds. And you can get the mold and make cookies for our semi-quincentennial.
That's great.
Like they would have made for Washington.
That is awesome.
Which is pretty cool.
It is cool. I
It's
would have
super
no
cool.
idea that something like that
Isn't
existed.
that something?
We got to wrap because we're at the end
Sure.
of the show, but thank you so much
Thank you, Lee.
for bringing these by and telling us. I love
Okay.
that. I really do. I love that
Thank
that's
you.
part of history. Is there a website?
House on the Hill Cookie Molds, and you can order the cookie molds from Sweet Impressions, our Springerly Emporium.
Awesome. Letha, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Daniel, let's hit cut of the day.
Playback ready. Now, the audio cut of the day.
Well, let's just do a simple one here. Cut number 4. Chuck Norris passed away, and he had a pretty good relationship with Fox, was on quite a bit. Here he is with Steve Ducey just a couple of years ago.
You are pessimistic about how we are right now.
I'm pessimistic now, but I'm optimistic about the future. Because the thing is, I don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. Because we
do. We got to worry for our kids.
Yeah. See, that's what we got to worry about. Yeah. That's my biggest worry, is that my kids won't have the opportunity that I had. Yeah. And that really worries the heck out of me.
Welcome back to Health Matters.
That was, we hit something wrong there. That was 2010. That was a while ago. It wasn't just a few years ago. He said that, and boy, talk about things coming true, unfortunately, but Chuck Norris passed away. All right, we're wrapping things up here at Queen of All Thanks. Thanks to Brian, Daniel back in the studio, Ethan and Fred out here, Sue. A lot of people came out to see you and say hi. We thank Kenny Wallace, John Lapping, Steve Butts. Who am I forgetting here this afternoon?
I think that's it. And there was a nice woman who came by and said she missed you when you were off the air.
Oh, because it slipped away. And thanks to my daughter and Amanda, because they're around here somewhere. I might
Joyce,
be able to,
our neighbor.
I didn't get a chance to say hi to Joyce. I'm sorry. I also mistook Joyce for John Lamping's mother earlier this afternoon. That was a really good piece of radio. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. Let's go Mizzou tonight. Get it done. I'm expecting a loss. Prove me wrong, Coach Gates. We'll see you Monday at 3.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads, we look good. And if you are westbound on 70, we look great. Eastbound, just a little slow approaching Wentzville. Now, the jam is downtown, and it's mainly eastbound, headed into Illinois, headed for the Poplar Street Bridge on 55 and on 40. 70 eastbound slowing at 64. That due to road work and an accident reported on eastbound 64 past 157. Look for some volume there. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Thank you, Dan.
Looking for a career change? The Gelman team with eXp Realty is hiring. Their unmatched blueprint to success, real support, and proven systems help agents take their business to the next level up your future and your earning potential. Take the first step to see if you're a perfect fit at thegelmanteam.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com. Hey, let's talk about Game Day Men's Health. I had a great lunch with Matt Lawrence from Game Day. He has a location in Chesterfield, which is awesome. It's a beautiful, beautiful office. You're going to feel very comfortable. And they have a lot of services that they can offer you, but they're still offering this amazing deal where you go in for an hour, they stick to that 1 hour visit, a free testosterone replacement therapy test, and then they'll come back with results. Now, it could be something different that you're interested in. They have vitamin therapy and peptide therapy and ED treatments and all kinds of other things that can help your health, overseen by board-certified physicians who are experts in men's health. And they have a top-notch staff, and you're going to love the experience. The pricing is very simple. It's all-inclusive. That includes all the medicine and supplies, all the follow-up visits, all the consultations. So check out Game Day Men's Health. They're in Chesterfield, right off 6440 Clarkson and Olive. The website, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back to the top of your game with Game Day Men's Health.
When's the last time you gave your home's exterior a little love? Hi, it's Kim, and if your siding is cracking, it's fading, or just doesn't stand up to our St. Louis weather, it's time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design because they're experts in James Hardy siding, which is this durable, low-maintenance option, and it looks beautiful. Plus, you have customizable colors and textures, and so you can give your home a completely new look while protecting it for decades. Don't wait until the small problems turn into big ones. Visit lakesidearty.com to schedule your free consultation.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Tax season is here, and Missouri families are already seeing the real impact of the Working Families Tax Cut Act. House Republicans are delivering real results for hardworking Missourians. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, the bill is projected to raise wages in Missouri by about $3,000 to $6,000 over the next 4 years. That's more money for groceries, gas, and greater security for your family's future. In Congress, I'm working to protect working families, strengthen our economy, and ensure you are keeping more of your hard-earned money.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Brian Kilmeade is coming back to St. Louis for one night in November. Just listen to the Mark Cox Morning Show, the Annie Fry Show, and the Mark Reardon Show like you usually do. But pay attention for us to tell you when to call to win free tickets.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A civil jury has found Elon Musk responsible for misleading Twitter investors before purchasing the company and renaming it X.
The jury in San Francisco found Elon Musk misled investors with 2 posts, including one that said the deal to purchase the company was on hold. But they didn't find he intentionally schemed to defraud investors. Former Twitter shareholders had sued Musk, arguing he drove down the value of the company, with comments including that he believed 20% of Twitter users were just bots. Attorneys for the shareholders said Musk intentionally tried to drive down the price as he negotiated a purchase, which he would later make for $44 billion after initially trying to back out. Musk testified at trial that he believed Twitter had far more fake and spam accounts than the 5% it had claimed to have in regulatory filings.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Even as the U.S. military moves to send more troops into the Middle East, President Trump suggesting the action in Iran may not last much longer.
President Trump announced via Truth Social that we are getting very close to meeting our objectives as we consider winding down our great military efforts in the Middle East. He also said that the job of securing the Strait of Hormuz will be countries that use it more, not the United States.
Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. Another procedural vote that would have funded the Department of Homeland Security has failed in the Senate.
Every Democrat voted no except for Senator John Fetterman. The final tally was 47 to 37. Both sides had a bunch of absences today. But the bottom line is this 5-week-long DHS shutdown will continue now.
Fox's Bill Malucci.